And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank you for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, the missing submarine is a crazy story. I've already done 2 videos on it, but there's more information I just got recently. I have more information. Oh, it's crazy. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Blackrock got exposed by James O'Keefe Media Group. And to be specific, a recruiter for Blackrock got exposed. Now, some are expecting the big dog, Larry Fink, to get exposed, but you would never find Larry Fink sitting in some park with a cheap bottle of wine getting some deuce by some okay looking intern. But we'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Hunter Biden has been charged, but he won't face any jail time, no prison time, no big rocks, little rocks. Hey, you tried to get hit with a federal gun charge and go home with no prison time. I don't care if you have a mountain of prior offenses or 0 prior offenses, not a traffic ticket, not a jaywalking, not a chewing gum on the ground, not a school suspension, not even a tattletailing incident, nothing. You are still going to the joint if you get a federal gun charge. Also, the Rainbow Railroad, what is that? We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And we have quite a bit to get through. Thank y'all for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you like what you're hearing thus far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Get your merch. We'll talk about that in a minute. But you guys are fantastic. You know, we got quite a few sponsors to get to. Well, not quite a few. We got a few sponsors. Then we're going to get into the topics. I've got quite a few things that are not on the actual list. I got some videos for you guys, some exclusive ABL Live content that I have not played for you guys yet on the regular channel. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Alrighty, y'all know first things first. Shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these internets. Link for them will be in the description, or just go to patriotpost.us. Tell them ABL sent you. Also, go to AnthonyBLogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. You can go to the front page of the website and you'll see articles for each video that I produce. So if you're ever wondering, hey, ABL, where's the full video? You talking too much. You're interrupting. I want to see the full thing, uncensored. Where'd you get the piece of information? Cite your source. Never you worry. All my sources, all my videos, all the auxiliary content that I can't put on a YouTube will be right there on the website, AnthonyBLogan.com. Also, go to the contact page, AnthonyBLogan.com/contact. There you can find my email address, my snail mail address, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All that's right there on the contact page, AnthonyBLogan.com/contact. And if you're ever wondering, if you're talking to me, check right there on the website first. Okay, if it's a random email like Nigerian Scammer 007 at hotmail.com, I can pretty much bet that's not going to be me. All right. I may sound Nigerian to some, but I'm not the Nigerian that's all, huh? I'm not the Nigerian that's all. So don't get scammed by no Nigerian scammer or no 800-pound Lithuanian dude laying in his bed in somewhere in the Eastern Bloc. Don't get scammed. One of you guys emailed me recently talking about, hey, I got scammed for some crypto and I trusted you. You're a conservative. It's like, wait a minute. Whoa. You trusted me? My email's not Nigerian Scammer 007. My email is not Lithuanian 8,000-pound hacker on my bed at gmail.com. That's not me. Go to the contact page. Do you see the email you were communicating with in that on the contact page? Do you see? I don't have any WhatsApp. If you get hit in the comments talking about, hey, hit me on WhatsApp, hit me on this, that, and the third, I don't have that. I don't know anything about cryptocurrency. All I know is Bitcoin and Ethereum. And if you ask me the ins and outs, I'm gonna have a blank stare, complete blank stare. So, moral of the story, don't get scammed. I don't want to see your email talking about you got scammed by somebody, because I'm telling you every day, don't get scammed. All right. If you want to contact me, go to the website. Everything's right there. If it's not there, it's not me. And the only number you will ever get is a 434-658-1220. And that number is only available during the show. If you try to call it outside the show or text it outside the show, you will never get a response. All right. You need some crypto tips? Well, hey, I can't do nothing for you, boss. I cannot do nothing for you. All right. Now, oh, and of course, I go to the merch website, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. I got the new hat, 1984, because that's what we're living at nowadays. If you're looking at the 1984, and you ever seen, of course, you guys you're familiar with George Orwell. So this same typeface was on a 1984 cover. Matter of fact, I took it from the cover. I just vectorized the cover and I made it into a hat. Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull it up for you guys right quick. And the reason why I made this hat is because we're kind of living in that right now. So you might as well just say, hey, you know what? Let's just go ahead and embrace it. Let me see if I can find the exact cover that I used. I might not be able to find the exact cover I used, but you guys get the idea. Y'all pretty much know what's going on. I might even use that one, the Wolfenstein looking cover. I might have to do that one. Hold on, let me see if I can pull this one up. If it'll let me. Or I guess not. All right, shout out to Google. Won't let me pull stuff up. But you guys get the idea. Matter of fact, hold on. Let's do it this way. Yeah, that could work. So you guys see that right there, the 1984. That's kind of the idea that I had for that. All right, we're pretty much living in 1984, so here we are. You might as well just embrace it. This ain't 2023, it's 1984 because of the things that we got going on right now. Everything you're being spied on. You got newspeak going on. That's happening. Words that were words and they meant a particular thing at one point in time no longer mean that anymore. So basically, this is a hat tip, literally, to George Orwell. Go to the merch website, ablmerch.com. Link will be in the description, or just go to it straight away, and you can find what you're looking for. Let me see if I can pull them up right here on the store. They should be available. Oh, my hat's not there? Okay, I'll put them up on the store. The 1984 hats will be available. So y'all be on the lookout for that. All right. So we got quite a few things that we are going to get into. I don't even know where to start. Oh, also, I was born 1984. That's my birthday, 9/22/84. So it all kind of fits together. It fits me, and it also fits what's happening right now in our country. All righty. Now, what do we have going on today? We have quite a few things happening. Where do I want to start? The submarine is a deep topic. I'm gonna get to that a little bit later. I think I want to start with some exclusive videos. Okay. Yes, I was HP Benin. Yep. Born in 1984. All right. But we have quite a few exclusive videos I want to get to you guys. Wow. Where do I begin? Okay. I'm just going to kind of go back a little bit and find a starting place and just take off from there. We can keep on rocking and rolling here. All right. I have some feel good videos. I have some interesting videos, a little bit of everything. All right. Oh, yeah, that's right, Roger Wood. The 1984 prices are not here. the prices 1984 are most certainly not here. The prices are most certainly 2094 at this particular point. I saw a lady on TikTok or somewhere. She had a bag of grapes and said the bag was $10 for the bag of grapes. Like, it wasn't even a big Costco bag. A bag of grapes, $10. It was a mess. It was a crazy mess. Oh, speaking about inflation, have you guys heard about the quote unquote accounting error that happened with the Pentagon? Have you guys heard about that? Hold on one second. Let's check it out right quick. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. So, accounting error provides extra 6.2 billion with a B for Ukraine, Pentagon says. Now, accounting error or what? Was it a mistake or was it done on purpose? I can't tell at this particular point. I mean, what's the difference? 6.2 million, 6.2 billion, not million, 6.2 billion, 40 billion, 100 billion, a trillion. Who cares? Just keep feeding the proxy war. Just keep feeding it and feeding it and feeding it. If anybody is in favor of this proxy war, you got to question them. You got to be like, really, sir? You buying into the proxy war? Is that what we're going to do? Like, how much money are we going to give them? Every single day, I see homeless veterans on the ground outside in America just struggling, no help. Veterans, people that have actually contributed to the country, people that have fought and sacrificed heavily, sometimes the ultimate sacrifice for this country. And yet we have billions upon billions upon billions to give to Ukraine. People talking about, oh, well, you got to save Ukraine. Well, how about saving America? How about doing what's right for people that have contributed to our society? I ain't talking about just general lawless people that don't care about others, that have not contributed, that have never done anything for this world. People that are not disabled, people that are not mentally challenged, people that just want to do wrong. I ain't talking about the criminals, the ne'er-do-wells, the low-lives. I'm talking about real people that have done it for this country. They get totally cast away, tossed to the wayside, and we give billions to Ukraine. Ridiculous. But let's hear what she has. Let's hear what she has to say. Okay, might need some sound. That might help. RIP headphone users. Let's go ahead and get that rocking.
Following up from some announcements earlier this year, during the department's regular oversight of our execution of presidential drawdown authority for Ukraine, we discovered inconsistencies in equipment valuation for Ukraine. In a significant number of cases, services used replacement costs rather than net book value, thereby overestimating the value of the equipment drawn down from U.S. stocks and provided to Ukraine. Once we discovered this misvaluation, the comptroller reissued guidance on March 31st, clarifying how to value equipment in line with the financial management regulation and DoD policy to ensure we use the most accurate of accounting methods. We have confirmed that for FY23, the final calculation is $3.6 billion, and for FY22, it is $2.6 billion, for a combined total of $6.2 billion. These valuation errors in no way limit or restricted the size of any of our PDAs or impacted the provision of support to Ukraine. And while the DoD retains the authority to utilize the recaptured PDA, this has no bearing on appropriated USAI or Ukraine PDA replenishment funding approved by Congress.
Boy, oh boy. So this was something that happened over a period of time. It wasn't just like a one-time thing. It took a little while for them to find this quote-unquote error. Now, what do y'all think? Do you think that this was a simple mistake, an error, or just like whatever? It don't really matter how much money we give them. You can give them all the billions of dollars we want in the world. Give them 6.2, give them 40, give them $100 billion, whatever kind of money they want. Okay, Ukraine accounting, and then where's the accountability for this quote-unquote mistake? Are we gonna get that back, or do they just have it? Hey, here's extra 6.2 billion. You try to take one more dollar from your bank account than you are entitled to. Let's say there was an accounting error and you got 1 cent more than what you should have gotten. They're getting that back immediately. You try to spend it. Oh, you might get locked up for that. Potentially. Oh yeah. Fraud, you getting sued, all of that. But how about Ukraine, huh? 6.2 billion with a B. 6.2 billion. You know how much money that is? You know how much money 1 million is? Do you know how much money 1 billion is? So 1 million is a lot of money. 1 million is a big measure by any stretch of the imagination. It's a big measure. 1 million of anything is a lot. So 1 billion is 1,000 of those 1 millions. So think about 6.2 billion. And we had already gave them a bunch of billions already, and it's never ending. Every time you see on the news, we approved this amount to Ukraine, that amount to Ukraine, all this, that, and the third. Personally, I'm tired of Ukraine, man. If they for real, like if you ask me, I say, Russia, you go ahead and take it, man. Go ahead and take it, because how long are we going to keep up this nonsense? We're not going to go fight Russia. You see, the only way for this war to end is two different ways we can end it. And if I'm lying, y'all please correct me. I want to be corrected if I'm wrong. There's only two real ways to end this war. The first way is we invade Russia directly and hit them with nuclear weapons. But see, now if we do that, we're going to die too. That's called mutually assured destruction. That'd be mad, quite literally, and the acronym would fit. Mutually assured destruction. We strike St. Petersburg, Moscow, etc. They're going to hit New York City, Los Angeles, etc. Then you're going to get China involved. Iran's going to be involved. Now you have World War III for real. So we don't want to spark World War III, but that's the way we could end it. But again, if we end it that way, then we end ourselves. It'd be a kamikaze mission. We would commit suicide trying to kill Russia. What we're doing right now is a proxy war to try and fight them indirectly, but we're never going to end it that way. The other way to end it would be to just stop. Just stop. Just stop funding the war effort. If we stop funding the war effort, Russia takes Ukraine and it's over with. The media will tell you that Russia will want to get Poland and they want to go back to the old Soviet Union. I mean, if that's the case, why wouldn't they take some of the easier old Soviet blocks like Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan? Why would they not take those? Why would they not take, like above Iran, Armenia, Azerbaijan, all of that? Why would they not take those? They could easily take those. Last I checked, Armenia was not in. Is Armenia in NATO? They might be. But they could easily take some of those countries right there, especially like over Kazakhstan. They could take those right away. It'd be nothing. So why not just take those? It's so dumb. It's totally dumb. So like I said, we could just stop the war effort, stop funding them, or we can we can go on a suicide mission. That's the two ways to end it. What we're doing right now is just it's an effort to try and wear Russia down through the proxy war, to drain them of resources while we drain our resources. It's a matter of who has the bigger bank. Big bank, take little bank. It's a banker's war. Different story. I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Don't care, Stan. If you like what you heard, get a video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Alrighty. But what else we got going on? We got quite a few videos here. Quite a few things to get into. Oh, I got a good video. I got a feel-good video for y'all. I put it on my Instagram as well. Let me see if I can play that one or the other one. I think I'm going to play the one on Twitter. That'll probably be the better way to go about it. Yeah, let's go ahead and play that. So I'm being told this is in Singapore, but I don't necessarily know that for certain. I'm taking people's word for it. Now, what you're seeing right here is an apartment building, and there's a lady on the balcony who is threatening to jump. She's outside threatening to jump, and you have the authorities above her. You see up here, above her, and they're also below. And they're going to deploy a thing to prevent her from jumping. So let's check it out. I'm going to turn the sound down a little bit so it don't ruin your eardrums. So shout out to them. So for you guys that are not able to actually see it, what they did was they had to position like about 2 floors above on the balcony that's right above her with some guys, and then they had nets that were affixed to the top balcony, and they draped that over where she was, and then the guys that were below her, like 1 floor below, they were able to get the other end of the net. So they had it taut from the top and the bottom, and then one of the guys from the top rappelled down to where she was at to get her to not jump, and then the other guy rappelled and then just was like the backup for the first guy that rappelled down. So that was a nicely done mission. Shout out to Singapore, if I'm not mistaken. Big up to the Singaporeans. You know, I was watching, you know, I'm a big nerd, so I was watching, I watch a lot of YouTube, not about politics, because I like to have my own take politically about current events, things like that. So I don't really watch anybody like that. I don't watch a lot of the guys that you might watch because I like to have my own, you know, when I'm talking, I like to be able to give a completely original take and not have anybody's words get into my mind. But I was watching a video about different countries and their history, and I watched one on Singapore, and I watched how they were like a colony at first, and then they weren't, and then it was abject poverty. It was opium everywhere, drug addicts. It was like a complete slum, like something worse than what you would see in India. Like it was Africa. It was bad. But then they had a so-called dictator. I forget his name. I think they call him LKY. Y'all know what I'm talking about. League something. Y'all know what I'm talking about if you know. But he transformed the country in a very short period of time from a slum, a dirty, filthy, opium-ridden slum, into really one of the richest countries in the world. Very rich country. They do a lot. They don't really have any natural resources, but they refine a lot of oil. They do a lot over in Singapore, so shout out to them. You know, he probably, the way that they were describing him was like a dictator, but he was a benevolent person. Now you have some people that are not benevolent in their quote unquote dictatorship, but that's a different story, and I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like Lee Kuan Yew, that's his name, LKY, Lee Kuan Yew. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Oh, a video right here. A little bit of a divergence, but this kind of represents what's going on right now in the world. Shout out to this account on Twitter called Culture Critic. And the caption says, just checking in on modern art. So this person right here is showing off his art exhibit. And if you can't see the video, what he has is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 red buckets of what I think is sand, and he's going to show off his exhibit. So the buckets of sand are stacked in a row vertically, and check them out. That was the exhibit. I know that was amazing. I know that you want to bust out crying. It was magnificent. That was probably the best art you've ever seen in your life, right? I know it changed your life. You want to go out and become Grant Cardone or somebody. You want to make $1 million tomorrow, right? It was so inspiring. That is the state of modern art today, all right? We got a little bit of light flickering. If my lights go out, don't blame me. Blame the white man. We got weird power out here. All right, so be on the lookout for that. But yeah, shout out to my man right here for the art exhibit, right? I know it was amazing, right? The crowd went wild. They were crazy. Picasso, yeah. Now I wonder how much that exhibit right there. I wonder how much that cost to get in there to witness that magnificent art. All right. Now hold on. I've showed you guys some art that I have seen. I was in Dallas last year for the Uncle Tom 2 premiere, and I love museums. I'm a museum guy. Like I said, I'm a big nerd. I love museums, anything dealing with art, anything dealing with architecture. I love it. So I went to museums all the time. Whenever I go to a city, anywhere I go, I'm going to the museum. I'm going to find a museum and I'm going to go there. I went to probably about 2 or 3 museums when I was in Dallas. And the first one I went to, I saw this right here. Okay, this is a piece of artwork that I saw at an art museum in Dallas. Now, a quick story, if you have not seen me talk about this yet. I went to 2 museums within a few minutes of each other. This was the first one I went to, and I had to pay to get in there. I paid like $40 to get in there, and they had stuff like this. And if you can't see the screen, this is like pieces of, I guess, lumber that looks like Jenga blocks, or not even lumber. It's like you ever have a fireplace, like you go to the gas station, they have the starter logs. That kind of looks like this, but this is a little bit more polished, I suppose. And they put the pieces of wood into a Jenga formation. All right. And it's only about about 5. So it's like 5 blocks in each row, and it's 5 blocks high, or little logs. So that was an art exhibit for real. That was real art exhibit. Is it firewood? Hey, I don't know. You know what? I'm not lying. I promise I'm not Scotty Too Hottie. I promise I'm not. But check it out. There was another piece of artwork that I took a picture of. I said it before on the show. It was, if I could put it up in a minute, I'm gonna do it. But what it was some pieces of silver cladding. I don't know what it was, and it was just in one row. Now I go to just touch it, right? Because there's no velvet rope, there's no little barrier or nothing. It's just on the ground. So I go to touch it. It's the oldest dude in the world coming up on me like instantly. I'm talking about top flight security. Paul Blart Marcotte came up on me. Oh, sir, you can't touch that. It's like, really, sir? I can't touch that. Just before I got here, 5 minutes ago, this so-called artwork was probably outside in the gutter behind this establishment, okay? They probably were building a retro 1960s bar, and this was the remnants of the bar. Why can't I touch it? Because the rats were touching it, and so were the crackheads outside. But now that it's on this nice little linoleum, luxury vinyl tile floor in this museum, I can't touch it. I mean, come on, whatever. Anyway, I digress. That is modern art for you. Not very inspiring at all. We'll talk more about inspiring in a little bit. We will get to the whole thing with the Submarine in just a minute. Y'all just hang tight for that. If you're here for that, I will get to that in just a moment. I've not spoken about the Submarine yet, but we're going to get into it. That's going to be a doozy once I get to it, because there's so much more that I've not even mentioned yet. Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden is the only crackhead I know who likes to get high on camera. Okay. Now I've been around crackheads before. I've literally been around crackheads before. Family members, just out in the street. I've been around them. Never have I ever saw a crackhead with his pipe go like this with a phone. I never seen a crackhead take a crack selfie. That is something brand new. Hunter Biden is revolutionary. Hunter Biden is a trendsetter. The first crackhead in the history of crackhead dumb to smoke crack on camera, and it's not really a big deal, right? Matter of fact, he's the first person that I know to be facing a federal firearms charge and get no jail or prison time. Huh? The very first person I've ever seen in my life to face a federal gun charge and not go to jail. When the feds come knocking, you're going to jail for the most part. They have a very high clearance rate. You could plead guilty all you want to. You're going to jail. Okay, you're going to the penitentiary. But Hunter Biden was able to get 2 tax evasion charges, and they say he didn't file, he filed late or whatever. He owed the money. Bottom line, he owed money for 2 years of not paying taxes, and the tax liability was $1.2 million. Imagine if you don't pay $1.2 million, what's going to happen? And the thing about it is, it wasn't just a simple mistake. He got charged. He got a federal charge. So it's pretty serious. If you get a federal charge of not paying your taxes or not filing properly, you committed a crime. A tax charge, you're going to jail. Wesley Snipes, Fat Joe. Let me tell you about Fat Joe, right? Now, matter of fact, hold on. I'm gonna pull up Fat Joe. Fat Joe tax jail. Let me see if I can find. Now, here is from the DOJ. I'm gonna read this blurb to you right quick. All right, hold on. Matter of fact, this is perfect. I just literally Googled Fat Joe tax jail. Rapper Fat Joe sentenced to 4 months in prison for failing to file income tax returns on over 3.3 in taxable income, Newark, New Jersey. Joseph Cartagena, the rapper popularly known as Fat Joe, was sentenced to 4 months in prison for failing to file tax returns with the IRS. So that's the same thing right there. Okay, it's the same thing Hunter Biden did. Failed to file tax returns on, and then the tax liability was $1.2 million. Now, how much of that money was Burisma Holdings, $50,000 a month, and other big bags of money from the Chinese Communist Party, other old Soviet blocs? How much of that money came from there that he didn't pay taxes on? And again, he got charged by the federales. Same thing Fat Joe did, but Fat Joe went to the penitentiary. Yep, I see you guys in the comments. Wesley Snipes as well, same thing. But I'm going to focus on Fat Joe right quick because I know the Fat Joe story is deeper than just failing to file tax returns. So here's what happened with Fat Joe. Now, Wesley Snipes, he was like a sovereign citizen, didn't want to pay. That's different. I'm going to get to him a little bit later. What happened with Fat Joe was he was paying an accountant to take care of all of that for him. He was doing the right thing. It's like, okay, I have an accountant, I have my tax preparer, I got my lawyer or whatever. I'm going to pay you money to make sure that I'm compliant. Trump does this. He has a whole team of guys around him to ensure his federal tax compliance. Okay. Fat Joe did that. Now, what happened with Fat Joe? Matter of fact, hold on. Let me pull him out right quick so you can see what I'm talking about. His accountant robbed him, basically. Here's what happened. The accountant's son became a paraplegic from an accident. So while Fat Joe is letting him handle the money to pay the IRS, the accountant was taking the money to take care of his son that became quadriplegic. Okay. Now that's a noble thing, but it's not, because you're stealing my money. I understand what you got going on, but that's not my problem. You can't just steal from me because of your personal life, but whatever. So Fat Joe paid the money and he was trying to explain like, hey, I didn't know, my accountant was stealing my money, whatever. They were like, look, so what? We don't care. That's your responsibility. Yes, you're supposed to pay your money. You didn't pay your money. You didn't file. You pay it back or whatever. Okay, fine. But you're still going to prison. He paid the money back and still went to prison. Okay, Hunter Biden paid his money back and is not going to go to prison. The difference is that Hunter Biden is Joe Biden's son. The Department of Justice is under the Biden administration. How are you going to go to prison over a tax penalty that you paid back when your dad is a president, when your dad is the head of the DOJ because he's the head of the United States? You're not going to prison. But if you're Fat Joe, you're a Bronx Puerto Rican dude, a rapper, you're going to prison. Wesley Snipes, you're going to prison. Martha Stewart, insider trading, you're not Nancy Pelosi. You're not in the club. You're going to prison. So you see, there's a two-tier justice system. If you are a politician, high-ranking official in the federal government, or you're their son, their daughter, the husband, the wife, do whatever you want to do. That's how it works. That is how it works. Hey, if you're in the news media and you have a brother that's a governor, Andrew Cuomo, Chris Cuomo, do whatever you want, say whatever you want. You have that power to do it. This is Banana Republic nonsense. It's nonsense. Okay. And nobody can say anything else. Nobody, I don't care if you left, right, or whatever, nobody can justify this. All right. Nobody can do it. Fat Joe literally did the exact same thing that Hunter did. And as a matter of fact, Fat Joe had a valid excuse. Like, he was paying the accountant, he paid the money back. Don't care, you're still going to prison. Do 4 months in the penitentiary. Now, somebody gonna try to bring up what's the name? They're gonna try to bring up past offenses like Kodak Black, aka Bill Capri. Now, Kodak Black is a rapper, and his lawyer came out and said that Bill went to the penitentiary for the same gun charge that Hunter Biden had. Lying on the background check to get your weapons, drugs and guns together. The same charge that Hunter had, Kodak got 3 years in the penitentiary, and he had to get pardoned by President Trump. Lil Wayne got 10 years for the similar crime and had to get pardoned by Trump. Remember, but Trump's racist, right? Anyway, I digress. If that was Joe Biden in there, they'd be rotting in the penitentiary right now, especially since his boy got the same charge that they got. Anyway, so people were saying, oh, it ain't the same thing because he had a prior record, speaking about Kodak and speaking about Lil Wayne. Listen, if you get a federal gun charge, it doesn't matter what your prior record is. You're going in the penitentiary. You are going to the joint. If the feds knock on your door, hey, Mr. ABL, we got word that you got guns. Here's a search warrant, all this and that and the third, and they pop me on the charge. I'm going to the penitentiary, Big Rocks, Little Rocks. I have no prior record. I have no criminal offenses. I've never been arrested. Okay. I've only had one police run-in my whole life, and it was for a speeding ticket, and I beat the ticket in court. Okay. I have no record whatsoever. I am an L7. I am a square. If I get a federal firearms charge, I'm going to prison, period. Because I'm not Hunter Biden, and I don't smoke crack for a living, and I'm not the president's son. That's why. Oh, also, if I'm Donald Trump, if I'm Trump, then I go to jail for things you don't go to jail for if you're a politician, because I'm persona non grata. I'm the enemy of the state. I'm a guy that's not controlled by the deep state. I can't be bought like, you know what guys can be bought. I can't be controlled like Hunter Biden. Not Hunter, but Joe. Joe Biden is a puppet, 1,000%. We all know that. A puppet who is on his last leg. It's like if you were a little kid and he was your toy, you'd have been tossing it into the garbage. That thing is broke and it's not really going to be able to be fixed. Okay, you want a new toy from your mama and daddy immediately for Christmas, birthday, Halloween, Easter, whatever it is. You can want something else. That man is toast. He's a puppet. But Trump's no puppet, therefore put him in the penitentiary. That's how they do. People say, oh, you got to follow the law. Man, please. The law for these kind of people in high positions of power, if you got money or status, the law is fluid. The law is fluid. You can actually kill somebody. Who was that killed somebody in the vehicle accident? Was it Caitlyn Jenner? Quote unquote Caitlyn Jenner? Oh, how about your man, Paul Pelosi? Didn't Paul Pelosi hit somebody in his car when he was driving drunk on the road and didn't go to the penitentiary at all? You see what I'm saying? Now, if you are in California on Mulholland, speeding, driving drunk, and wreck, what's going to happen? Oh, don't worry about it. Go ahead and go home. You think it's going to happen? Come on. You're going to jail. Drunk, driving, and you wreck. See, a DUI, I've seen DUIs happen with just people driving drunk and that's it. They're in their car driving drunk behind the wheel. They could be at a stoplight, not even driving at that moment, but they were at a certain point driving. They could be at a stoplight, get a flashlight from the police on them, get pulled over, sobriety test, DUI, you're going to jail. But Paul Pelosi can drive in Los Angeles or wherever he's at, Napa Valley, right by the vineyard, okay, drunk as a skunk, failing a sobriety test, acting the fool in a sobriety test, hit somebody, The person gets injured and they walks away. That's political privilege. That is political privilege all day long. Now, what happened with that? Was that I want to see what happened with Paul. I think I remember the story. No prison time. Oh, did he do 5 days in jail? Hold on. Have you ever heard about somebody doing 5 days in jail for a DUI? Really? 5 days? And again, he hit somebody. Like, it wasn't just a matter of he was swerving and acting. He actually got into a wreck while drunk. Man, please, you go straight to the penitentiary for that if you're a regular person. So I don't want to hear nothing about, prior record. It ain't the same. Please, spare me the nonsense. Spare me the nonsense. Holly Berry. Yep. Hey, Hollywood privilege. You got people in high places you're friends with. That's kind of how it goes, right? Matthew Broderick. Who else? Who else did something like that? It was quite a few people. No mugshot. No mugshot for Hunter. None of that. Nope. None of that going on. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. Yeah, a 5-day. He got a little vacation in jail, a little hotel stay, and went right back to the crib. And then had that weird interaction with the hammer guy. The man got hit with a hammer while he was holding the martini. It's like, what in the world's happening? These people are weird. People are weird. Once you get to Hollywood and into the political world, it's eyes wide shut. It's a whole different ball of wax going on over there. And speaking about eyes wide shut, different ball of wax, Blackrock. Now, if you guys don't know about Blackrock, they are an investment firm. They own quite a bit. They manage quite a bit. They have between 8 and 9 trillion or more in assets that they manage. And the thing about Blackrock, they're part of the whole thing. You'll own nothing and be happy. That's part of what they may tell you. And the CEO, Larry Fink, got on television and was basically bragging about how much power they have. Now, we're going to get into the, not Project Veritas, the James O'Keefe Media Group, OMG. We're going to get into their little expose of a recruiter for Blackrock and what he was talking about. But if you don't want to hear from a recruiter, ABL, he's not really the top guy, let's hear from Larry Fink. Well, here's a little blurb from the big dog over at Blackrock, Larry Fink. Hold on one second. Let's get it up right here. RIP headphone users. Let's put that on the screen. Now, let me just go ahead and get my man in the window. That's him right there. Larry Fink over on the right-hand side of your screen. Let's check him on out. And give me 1 second. There we go.
Well, behaviors are going to have to change, and this is one thing we're asking companies. You have to force behaviors, and at Blackrock, we are forcing behaviors.
Heard it right there. You got to change. You got to force behaviors, and Blackrock are changing behaviors. Now he's talking about things like the what's that called? You guys know what I'm talking about, the ESG, where it's like a social ranking score. If you have, hold on, matter of fact, I don't want to say it wrong, but basically it kind of ties into the whole LGBT thing, all right? It kind of ties into that. Environmental social governance, all right? Let's read some of this right here. I'm not going to read the entire thing. I'm put it on the screen and hold on. Matter of fact, let me come back and get it together a little bit better. Let's do it that way. There we go. All right. And move that a little bit over there. Yeah, there we go. That'll work. So ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance. Investors are increasingly applying these non-financial factors as part of their analysis process to identify material risks and growth opportunities. ESG metrics are not commonly part of mandatory financial reporting, though companies are increasingly making disclosures in their annual report or in a standalone sustainability report. Institutions such as the Sustainability Accounting Standards Board, SASB, and the Global Accounting Initiative and the Task Force on Climate-Related Financial Disclosures, TCFD, are working to form the standards and define materiality to facilitate the incorporation of these factors into the investment process. So basically, if you want to get money from an investment firm like a Blackrock and your ESG score is not up to par because you're not really embracing the LGBTQ element of P, you might have a problem. So when you're asking yourself, hey, well, why are Budweiser and these other companies embracing this woke stuff when it doesn't really match their audience? Well, they're trying to get some money. Maybe, perhaps, they're trying to get money, and they're not necessarily doing this kind of stuff for you. They're doing it for their investment partners. That could be what's going on. So, yeah, the ESG thing is real, and you heard it from Larry Fink. It's like, okay, we're going to force behaviors, meaning, hey, we want you to be more inclusive. We want you to be more LGBT friendly. So your ESG score will determine what you get from us. So you got a high score. That means you're behaving in the more quote unquote fair way, in the more inclusive way. They have another thing called diversity, equity, and inclusion, or I call it diversity, inclusion, and equity. And if you put that into an acronym, that's called DIE, DIE. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Let's get to your man from Blackrock. What's his name? Sergey, I think his name was. It's like, sir, like, where you from? Dagestan? Anyway, hold on. Let's go to O'Keefe Media Group and let's play them right here. If you've not seen this, I'll link to it, of course, in the description. Well, it's on the website, actually, on the article for this video. But I won't play the full thing. I'll just play some of it here. Let's go reveal that.
Want to be in the news. They don't want people to talk about them. They don't want to be anywhere on the radar.
Why not?
I don't know, but I suspect it's probably because it's easier to do things when people aren't thinking about it. All of these financial institutions, they buy politicians. You can take this big ton of money, and then you can start to buy people. I work for a company called Blackrock.
Meet Serge Varley, a recruiter at Blackrock.
Let me tell you, it's not through who's the president. It's who's controlling the wallet. So it's the,
And who's that?
The hedge funds, BlackRock, the banks. These guys run campaign financing. Yep, you can buy your candidates. Obviously, we have the system in place. First, there's the senators, and these guys are cheap. You got 10 grand, you can buy a senator. I can give you 500K right now. No questions asked.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this. We're done.
Does like everybody do that? Does Blackrock do that?
It doesn't matter who wins.
You're still right.
They're in my pocket at this point.
Here's Serge Varley on how good war is for Blackrock's business.
Do you have any thoughts on the Ukraine-Russia war?
Yeah, I mean, I do have thoughts.
What are they?
Ukraine is good for business. You know that, right?
Now, some are going to say, oh, you're just talking ABL because you're trying to get to this nice young lady or whatever. But what he's saying, a lot of us have been saying for a while. We've been talking about how profitable the war is. We're talking about how there's an ulterior motive. We're talking about how you can buy politicians for a low amount of money. I've seen it. I've witnessed it. A friend of mine went to prison over this kind of stuff. Now, I won't say her name, but she was a really good friend of mine, and it shocked all of us when it happened. Out here in Tennessee, local politician, got caught up in this kind of thing and went to jail for it. So it does happen. And you'll be surprised at who does it because you never know what's going on. I mean, it might be a small amount of money to somebody on the outside, but they may have a certain kind of lifestyle they want to uphold. They may have things that come up in their life. They might get greedy, get caught up in the mix. It happens a lot, for sure.
I'll give an example. Russia blows up Ukraine's grain silos. Price of wheat's gonna go mad up. Ukrainian economy is tied very largely to the wheat market, global wheat market. Prices of bread, literally everything it goes up and down. This is fantastic if you're trading. Volatility creates opportunity to make profit. War is real good for business. It's exciting when goes wrong, right? Blackrock manages 20 trillion. It's incomprehensible numbers.
Blackrock Serge Varley says all of this is above a normal person's understanding.
You're like an undercover reporter. I don't know. No.
This is funny because the guy was literally saying that she's an undercover reporter, but was still talking. You guys got to stop pillow talking for real, but that's a different story, and I digress.
People don't give a shit. This is beyond them. The whole thing of like domination from a concept is it's so interesting.
So there's more there, but as I wanted to point out in my video, he spoke about Jim Cramer. Now, a lot of you guys know who Jim Cramer is. Jim Cramer, he does a lot of financial advice, and the advice is notoriously bad. Like a lot of you guys know, whatever you do not listen to Jim Cramer on his financial advice. He's entertaining to watch, but if you think that you're going to get good advice about stocks to pick and whatnot, you're going to lose your shirt before it's all said and done listening to Jim Cramer. And he pointed that out at a certain point. I kind of want to fast forward to that. Then I move on.
Largely the wheat market, global wheat market. This is fantastic if you're trading.
Oh, here was a good piece right here about the wheat market. Let me kind of go back.
Watch news. I don't watch news.
They're all pushing like the same talking point. Like you generally, when you look at news, like
it's propaganda. Ukrainian economy is tied very largely to the wheat market, global wheat market. This is fantastic if you're trading. Volatility creates opportunity to make profit. War is real good for business. It's exciting when goes wrong, right?
Serge also speaks on BlackRock-influenced news and even gave our journalists some tips.
based on everything we know now, when they say to sell, does that mean we should buy?
And sell, yeah. It's like, Jim Cramer. If you do exactly the opposite of what he's advising, you actually make money.
Huh?
Yeah. It's called the inverse Cramer. They don't want to be in the...
That's facts, though. I mean, about Jim Cramer, like if you do the opposite of what he says, you can make some money. But if you listen to what he says and you follow that, you're probably gonna lose your shirt. Like I said before, said and done, you're not gonna have a very good time. So yeah, that guy, Serge or Sergey Varley, is a recruiter over at Blackrock. Now, somebody's gonna say, well, so what? He's a recruiter, low-level guy, third party or whatever. Okay. I mean, now here's a question I have for anybody that may have a critique about Mr. Sergey. Is he lying? Did he tell a lie? Did you hear any lie right there? If you heard a lie, then that's fine. If you didn't, then you got to just admit that what he's saying is correct and just have that be that. All right. Inverse Kramer. That's right. Shout out to him. All of what he said was right on point. To the average person that may not necessarily be in politics, doesn't really understand what's going on, that could be kind of new to them. They could be hearing it for the very first time. But to those of us that are understanding of what's going on and we know what's happening, we are not surprised at all. At all. So hopefully he does not get deleted. No Jeffrey Epstein action going on. Now, they can easily dismiss him and say, oh, he was a recruiter, he's a third-party person, he's not even employed by BlackRock directly, all this, that, and the third. They can kind of dismiss him. Now, if it was a high-level executive that came out and said stuff like that, then they might have to put him on ice. They might put him to sleep for good. Shout out to Umar Johnson. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. Oh, and before I move on, I have one more video of your man Hunter. Well, just a video of Hunter. This is from back in 2021. Remember when the whole laptop case was breaking and they're talking about, oh, it's not real, Russian misinformation, it's stolen, it's hacked. They were jumping through hoops of fire to try and excuse away that whole thing. They did not want that to be tied to them at all. Okay, they did not want to be tied to them at all. But check it out right here. This is from 2021, April 4th, 2021, on CBS Monday Morning. And the lady right here is asking him about the laptop, and listen to what he says. This is your man Hunter.
Was that your laptop?
For real, I don't know.
I know, but you
my
know
point
that's
is,
this is
I really don't know.
Okay.
The answer is
You don't
the
know
truthful
yes
answer.
or no if the laptop
I don't have
was
any
yours.
idea. I have no idea.
So
whether or
could
not.
have been yours.
Of course, certainly. There could be a laptop out there that was stolen from me. There could be that I was hacked. It could be that it was Russian intelligence. It could be that it was stolen from me.
I mean, come on. Like, this man is literally on a laptop, beaming the Scotty, getting geeked up, getting high, getting tore out the frame, getting ripped. Okay, talking about something, oh, well, it could have been me. I don't know. Man, please stop. They went through all types of stuff to try to deny that laptop existed. And the whole scheme with the so-called intelligence community was absurd. That lets me know right there that you can be bought and paid for. Matter of fact, it's not even always about money. It's about just a favor. It's hey, I'm your friend. Look out for me. Hey, this is a political thing that we got to get on board with. Just say that the laptop is fake. Do it for me. Not even about money. You can get paid off with no money. You can get paid off by favor in DC. It's not even about what's right or what's wrong or getting paid. It's about, hey, man, look out for me. All right, I got you. No problem. Pure corruption. But this is what happens when the government gets so big and out of control. There's no oversight, because who's going to oversee the overseers? You can do whatever you want to. So this is part of the reason why I always say I'm against the federal government, at least in its current form. I'm not an anarchist. If you are, I understand, but I'm not. I think that we have a smaller government. Make it a little bit smaller, well, a lot smaller, 80% smaller. That'd be much better. Too much government, too much power, too centralized, no power for the people. I'm not a fan. That's why the local government is so much better. And we got to make sure that gets tightened up too, because we got some local government people that aren't on the up and up, but it's better than the federal government, in my humble opinion. But we got a whole lot more. Where am I going to go next? Am I going to go to matter of fact, let's get to the submarine, because this is crazy. Now, I have more video that I've not shown yet about the submarine. Again, I've done 2 videos for it already on this channel. They're both doing well. Thank y'all for watching the videos. But I have more video and more information about what's happening. Now, first things first, let's get to some backstory. Now, the submarine, or the quote-unquote submersible, was supposed to go down to see the Titanic wreckage. Apparently, they had done prior missions, like 3 prior missions, and they went well. This is number 4. And they departed Sunday, I think Sunday afternoon, evening. They've not been heard from since. One of the guys, it might have been the captain, it might have been the CEO, Stockton, I think his name is. His cell phone pinged right above the area where the wreckage would have been. So what they do, from my opinion is, or not my opinion, from what I saw, they will have a boat that will taxi the submersible out to the area, and then they will dump a submersible in the water, and you can board the submersible. I think it might have been 5 guys. Hold on. I have a picture of what it was on the inside. This was not the picture of everybody that was on board, but some of the guys that are in this picture were on board of the actual submersible that's down there right now that's lost. All right, now hold on, check it out. So that is the way it looks on the inside, right? Now, in order to be in the submersible, you got to put up a lot of money. You got to pay $250,000. You got to pay $250,000 each. So you're talking about billion. I think it's 2 billionaires on the vessel right now, including the CEO of OceanGate, which is a company behind the submersible. The CEO is a guy that has an aviation company based in Dubai, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, these guys got big money. And I think one person is a billionaire's son. I think they're a very rich family in Pakistan. All right, so that's what's happening right now. I don't think all these guys in the picture are in the submarine right now. but some of them are. And that's the inside view of it. Now, here's my thing. And I got a lot more. I have a whole lot more going on to get into. But here's the thing. The Titanic wreckage is 12,500 feet below the surface of the ocean. 12,500 feet. Now, the Empire State Building is 1,250 feet. So you're talking about 10 Empire State Buildings from the bottom to the top of the spire, stacked vertically. That is how deep they are. They're over 2 miles deep, almost 2.5 miles deep. Now, walking 2 miles and a straight line above ground on the ground is nothing. That's not very far to walk, or to even drive is not very far. But to go up in the air, that's very far. It's very high. And to go beneath the ocean surface is very deep. To go underground 2.5 miles is very deep. Think about it like this. The pressure from the water will crush you. People, sometimes when I do these videos or when I'm engaged on social media, I forget the average person and their level of education in America. It's kind of bad. I was reading some comments talking about, well, hey man, if they're trapped in the submarine, just open it up and swim out. It's like, really? They're going to open the submarine and swim out at 12,500 feet? Is that what they're going to do? For reference, the deepest scuba diver has gone about 1,000 feet, allegedly. 1,000 feet. That's the deepest scuba diver ever. You're talking about they got all the equipment, everything. 1,000 feet, the deepest scuba diver. They are 12,000 feet. If they exit that submarine, first of all, they can't open the door because of so much pressure. Trying to open the door of a submarine or the hatch or whatever of a submarine that deep underwater is like trying to open the exit door of an airplane at 30,000 feet. It's the pressure will not let you do it. It's just too much. You couldn't do it. If you could do it, you would die instantly. The pressure will crush your body. You would asphyxiate. There's no oxygen. You would drown right away. It would be an agonizing death. Agonizing. The pressure alone would get you before I don't know what will get you first. I don't know if it will be the water rushing in on you and you drown, the oxygen, you can't breathe, you suffocate, or if you would get crushed and then that'll do it. I'm not sure what to get you first. Probably the oxygen. It's like dying in the fire. I don't want to be morbid, but this is what I just know. Usually when there's a fire and somebody dies in the house, they die from the smoke first before the fire gets them, because you can see guys all the time with burns and stuff on them. The fire won't really get you right away. You can be on fire for a certain period of time and survive. You'd be severely burned and disfigured, but you can survive. But if you can't breathe, that does it right there. So it's usually from the smoke and not being able to breathe that gets you in the fire. So underwater, I'm not sure what to get you first. Anyway, oh yeah, you be instant fish food right away. It wouldn't even, it'd be bad. So basically, if you cannot get out of the submarine at that depth, it's over. The vessel is designed to have oxygen for about 4 days, 96 hours. They departed later in the day on Sunday, and they said that come Thursday morning, so in a few hours from now, there is no more oxygen. And that's at the best. They think it's going to last for 96 hours, but it might not. It might have already run out. I hope they get found. Prayers out to them and their family, but it doesn't look good. Now, hold on. Then it says ABL implosion would be instant. 0.2 seconds to text your brain to register something at 0.04. Well, there you go. There you go. Yeah, it would not be good for them to be down there. It wouldn't be good at all. Let's talk about what's going on. Now, I think there was quite a bit of corner cutting involved. Yes, they're paying $250,000. Yes, it's very expensive. Yes, these guys are rich, I guess you would say thrill seekers, but yet and still there were corners cut and they got woke. Let's go first to the corner cutting. Now, there was a lawsuit from a former employee who was trying to say, hey, let's test the hull of this submersible to make sure it's safe. Let's test it in a non-destructive way to make sure that it's 100% safe, because if you're going down that deep and there's any problems, you could die, and it's going to be bad. The person was fired as a result. Let's check out this video right quick, and then we're going to get into more. We're going to get into the wokeness. Oh, check this out. Matter of fact, hold on. I don't want to reveal the surprises yet, but we have a lot more to get into that I've not said yet. So let's watch this right here. Then we're going to get into more surprises. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. I'll get to the controller in a minute as well. I've not forgotten about that.
So, I now have a copy of the lawsuit filed by David Lockridge, a former employee of OceanGate, who said he was fired after his concerns dating all the way back to 2018 over the submersible's hull safety were not addressed of the exact vessel that is now missing while on expedition to view the Titanic wreckage. The suit says Lockridge warned in 2018 that the sub safety could be compromised by, quotes, poor quality control and safety protocols that, quotes, paying passengers would not be aware of. David Lockridge was OceanGate's former director of Marine Operations, and also alleged that he was wrongfully terminated after raising these concerns about the company's refusal to conduct critical, non-destructive testing of the experimental design. These filings say that after OceanGate's CEO Stockton Rush asked Lockridge to do a quality inspection of the submersible, Lockridge developed grave concerns about a lack of non-destructive testing performed on the hull of the Titan. While completing the inspection, Lockridge said he asked co-workers if anyone had formally scanned the materials being used to secure the vessel from the high-pressure environment. Lockridge said he was told that no such scans had been done. Instead, he said, sound-based systems would check for flaws in the hull in real time in order to detect issues. Lockridge said that while he was met with hostility and denial of access to necessary documentation, while completing the inspection report, he submitted it on January 18, 2018. The next day, he spoke before company leadership, including Rush Bonnie Carl, the Human Resources Director, Tony Nissen, the Engineering Director, Scott Griffith, the Operations Director, and raised his concerns. Lockridge said he recommended OceanGate voluntarily seek out regulation and classification through an agency such as the American Bureau of Shipping, which the filings say inspects and certifies submersibles with assurance tests and satisfy industry standard safety controls. But Lockridge said that after the meeting, he was fired. OceanGate then allegedly gave Lockridge approximately 10 minutes to immediately clear out his desk and exit the premises. A court filing says it's unclear whether Lockridge's concerns were ever addressed or whether these scans occurred at a later date. Lockridge's allegations were filed as a countersuit against OceanGate, which had accused him of breach of contract, fraud, and revealing trade secrets. Lockridge denied all of the charges. The case was settled out of court.
So that's that. It was settled out of court back in 2018. That was the last part of that clip right there. So there were concerns about safety going back 5 years ago, 2018. I'm not sure if they got resolved or what, but the former employee was fired as a result of him bringing it up. Like, hey, let's fix this. Let's make sure that it doesn't happen. No kind of catastrophic failures, rather than actually fixing the problem. Nah, man, you go ahead, clear your desk out right now. You got 10 minutes. So that looks like somebody that's trying to cut corners. All right. Now we're going to get into the video game controller. You guys are speaking about that. So the vessel is being controlled by a gaming controller from the early 2000s. Like not even the Xbox, not even the Xbox controller, not even one of these. It's like, yo, if it's going to be a controller, let it be one of these, like a more modern. They had the oldest controller I've seen in some years. I've never used. That is not only an old controller, it's kind of an off-brand, like a Mad Catz controller. When you and your cousin are playing the game at your house, couch co-op, a fighting game, you take the nice controller, you give him the ugly, halfway broken rip-off Mad Catz with no rumble support, no bells and whistles. The buttons may or may not be responsive, input lag, all that good stuff, right? Okay, that's what's going on. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and pull that particular video up so you guys can see what I'm talking about. All right, hold on one second.
Pieces.
Let's show you this right here. And let me go ahead and get this tightened up a little bit. Y'all give me 1 second. And I think that will do it. Yeah, matter of fact, let's just do it this way. Perfect. All right, check it out.
Of this sub seemed improvised.
We can use these off-the-shelf components.
I got these from Camper World. We run the whole thing with this game controller.
So you see that right there? That game controller, he's using that. And my man right here is laughing. Come on. That is what he's using to control the thing. Now, I don't know about y'all. I don't know about y'all. But hey, if I'm going to pay $250,000 and risk my life to go to the bottom of the ocean, I don't want to see stuff like that. Now, I know. Some are going to say, hey, ABL, it's not really that serious. That's commonly used. Check it out. I don't want to see it. At a certain point, it's called professionalism. It's called, I want to make sure that I'm in the right hands. If y'all are just getting little knick-knack stuff, I'm getting lights from Campers World. I got this old controller from GameStop in the back of the bin. It's halfway broken, don't really work. I don't feel very confident about my safety on this vessel, okay? I don't feel very confident at all. Not that ain't PlayStation 1. I don't know what that is right there. What is that? Have you ever seen that? A Logitech controller from what era, from what time in history is that controller from? I have never in my life ever seen that controller right there. Okay? It's giving me the PS1 vibe, but it's not a PS1 controller. What is that? Someone said Atari, Dollar General controller. That ain't controller. That's not even matter. Hey, I mean, that's what he's showing. If that ain't it, then why is he showing it? Okay, so check it out. Somebody says if you want a good controller, you want to pay $2 million per trip. Exactly. If I want to get a regular modern controller that's not gonna fail, like imagine that right there is what is piloting the whole vessel. And if that breaks at all, if that 25-year-old controller breaks, then you're gonna be at the bottom of the ocean and you're gonna die from asphyxiation within 4 days. Imagine that. Imagine that. I mean, what in the world is going on? But anyway, I digress. Now there's more. Oh, we got more. We have more. All right, let's check it out here. So you saw the lawsuit that has been filed from the former employee. You saw the game controller and you saw some of the rinky-dink stuff and whatnot. But I have more. Oh yeah, we're not even nowhere near complete. We gotta show the woke stuff and a lot more. All right, hold on. Let's go. Matter of fact, I want to show this part here. Okay, this is going to be great. This is going to be great. Okie dokie. So, the CEO of OceanGate said that he didn't want to hire any 50-year-old white guys who were experienced because that's not inspirational. He wants to inspire the very young people to get involved with oceanography, with submarine, and with, exploring the water and the air. He wants to inspire the youth to be diverse. And diverse means quite a few things. We're going to get into that in a minute. It ain't just about black and white and all this and that. He's going to get into some real quote unquote diversity. Let's check this out right here. Hold on 1 second.
Listen.
And let's get the reveal up. There we go.
To what he talks about, the CEO talks about hiring people.
Yes, I mean, when I started the business, one of the things you'll find there are other sub-operators out there, but they typically have gentlemen who are ex-military submariners, and you'll see a whole bunch of 50-year-old white guys. I wanted our team to be younger, to be inspirational, and I'm not going to inspire a 16-year-old to go pursue marine technology. But a 25-year-old, who's a sub-pilot or a platform operator, one of our techs, can be inspirational. And so we've really tried to get very intelligent, motivated, younger individuals involved, because we're doing things that are completely new. We're taking approaches that are used largely in the aerospace industry, is related to safety and some of the preponderance of checklists, things we do for risk assessments and things like that that are more aviation related than ocean related. And we can train people to do that. We can train someone to pilot the sub. We use a game controller, so anybody can drive the sub.
That was the voice of Stockton Rush, the CEO, and he's the guy who is in the vessel right now piloting it. He's the guy that's in there right now missing. He might mess around and die. He might die behind trying to be inclusive and woke and everything else. Imagine you pay $250,000 to get on this rinky-dink vessel and die because the owner wants to be woke and inclusive. Look, I don't care if you get 100% 50-year-old white guys. I don't care. Is the vessel safe? Yes or no? Because I'm not trying to die behind you wanting to be woke. That's all I'm trying to say. Let's go from point A to point B and back to point A, safe and sound. However we get there, I don't care. If it's 100% 50-year-old white guys, they got experience, that's fine. But you know what? You know what, though? I think he's trying to cut corners because, you know what? The guys he's speaking about, the 50-year-old white guys, are going to cost money. But how much would an intern cost? A 16-year-old girl straight out of high school or in high school or in college or something like that, how much would she cost? Huh? Compared to the military veteran that is actually has experience, knows what he's doing. They're trying to cut corners, in my humble opinion, rather than paying these guys that know what they're talking about and know what they're doing. Just put any old body in there and call it woke to save money. But there's more. Oh, there's more. We're not even nowhere near done. Now, hold on, check it out. Shout out to Lauren Chin. You're amazing. Here's what she posted. Now, the Ocean Gate, hold on, watch this. You guys have not seen this yet. The Ocean Gate CEO prioritized not hiring 50-year-old white male submariners with military experience so they wouldn't interfere with the inspirational vibes environment for the other college-age crew members. Some of the insights into that Ocean Gate crew and environment. Now, check this out. This is a young lady on TikTok. It's part of the Ocean Gate crew. And she says, somehow convinced my straight A coworker to go to a drag show while we're at port for less than 12 hours. I am not making it up. I am not making this up. Watch this.
Somehow.
Hold on. Let's get some full screen action. This is the crew of the boat that takes out the vessel.
Convinced my straight ass co-worker to go to a drag show while we're at port for less than 12 hours.
For this beautiful.
Now you may be wondering, hey ABL, how do we go talking about video game controllers and submarines and 50-year-old white guys in the military? How did we go from there to talking about drag queens? Well, hey, 2023, that's how it goes. You're watching Netflix, it's a good show about angels and demons, and then episode 25, you get a whole drag queen story time. That's how it goes. Okay. Oh, ABL, keep talking about the LGBT. You're obsessed. It's not me. I'm talking about the water and water pressure and fire and oxygen and science, and I get the drag queen stuff pushed on me. I'm not making it up.
Somehow convinced my straight ass co-worker to go to a drag show while we're at port for less than 12 hours.
These dudes are everywhere. These drag queen dudes are everywhere. And there's more. So basically, one of the crew members is a young lady who is also a TikToker. Okay? That's what's happening right here. So 50-year-old white guys know what they're doing. Nah, we don't want that. Straight cis-het white guys that got experience. Nah, we're not going to do that. Let's bring on a 22-year-old TikToker and have her take the crew to Drag Queen Story Hour. That's what we're going to do. Now, here's more. Watch this. All right, this is her. This is the same girl from the TikTok.
I am living on a boat for the next 2 months because I'm joining this company that does submarine trips down to the Titanic. I could cry thinking about this, but Stay the fuck tuned.
Yeah, there we go. That's what matters. Yay, diversity. Yay, diversity. So here she is, watching a submarine go down to the Titanic. I wonder if this was just recently where these guys then went to their doom. We got noise, we got music. We don't want to have that. Okay. So yeah, there she go. Right on TikTok. All right. So there we have it. All right. And that's what's happening. Now, I have more. You thought I was done? Oh, nah. We're going to talk about drag queen story time. We're talking about the hull of the vessel not being inspected properly. These guys might be dead. There's so much more. Wait a minute. I saw something on Instagram that really was crazy. I can't really say I'm surprised, but I'm a little surprised. Hold on. Now, watch this. Now, let's put it on the screen right quick. I'm going to just do it this way. It's probably the best way to do it. This is on Spiritual Word on Instagram. Shout out to Spiritual Word. A documentary on the missing Titanic tourist submarine titled Titanic Sub Lost at Sea will air this Thursday on the UK's Channel 5 at 7 p.m. This is right after their air is going to run out on the actual vessel. Remember, I said that the air is going to be out by Thursday morning. By 12 noon at the latest, they're going to be done. So basically, they got a countdown. All right. When these guys die, they're going to put out a documentary about it. I mean, come on. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. But hey, look, man, we got to get this money. All right. These dudes didn't die on the sub. We got to get documentary out right now. And how did they make it so quickly? Where they just, as soon as, look, I'm going to tell you what happened. As soon as they went missing, they dead. They dead. Make a documentary right now. Get on it. Y'all get in that back room and grind. Sun up, sundown, make documentary. So as soon as they die, ain't no coinky dink. There is no coinky dink here. This is done on purpose. Yo, as soon as they dead and they're not coming back, put it out. Matter of fact, time it so when they discover the dead bodies, we'll put out a documentary. Cold-blooded. And these will be the same guys over in UK talking about Black Lives Matter. We believe all trans lives matter. A 2-year-old girl is transgender. They don't care about any of that crap. They're worried about getting that money. Period. Point blank. Hey, it's an evil world we live in. Shout out to Future. I mean, what in the world? There's more. I think one more video. Yeah. So for you to even get on the boat to go out there to the site and get in a sub and then go down below the surface, you signing a waiver. And on the waiver, they mention you could die not once, but twice, but 3 times on the first page. So here's a man that went on the prior voyage, and he's telling you about the actual disclaimer he signed. So let's go ahead and put it on the screen right quick.
People should know you know, to even get on the boat that takes you to the Titanic, you sign a massive waiver that lists one way after another that you could die on the trip. They mentioned death 3 times on page 1. And so it's never far from your mind. You try and put it out. But as I was getting onto the sub, I mean, that was my thought, well, this could be the end. So, you know, nobody who's in this situation was caught off guard. You know, it's very bad things broke this way, but you all know what you're getting into. It's really exploration. You know, it's not a vacation, and it's not thrill seeking. It's not like skydiving or something. These are people, these are explorers and travelers who want to see something.
Oh, by the way, that guy right there is a writer on The Simpsons. Fun fact. Yes, he is. You know, a lot of these guys that you may see on television or you may see them in the street, you would never know what they do for a living. You would never know. It'd be random people. Yeah, you see the rainbow shirt? Absolutely. So, entertainment, you're talking about Hollywood, anything, cartoons, live action, CGI, whatever it is, a lot of it has these kind of guys that are behind it. Even The Simpsons, and The Simpsons is more of a kind of counterculture show, and you got a guy with a rainbow shirt as a writer over there, right? That's kind of how it goes. So imagine the more ridiculous and woke stuff, how these guys are going to be totally out there. Even some of the more benign type television shows, you got guys that are abusing children. It's a mess. Hollywood is a mess. Yeah, LA, I know about the secrets of these places. I've seen too much in my life. I wish I could unsee it. That's part of the reason why I hate Los Angeles and New York and DC a little bit. If you guys have ever seen The Devil's Advocate, I always think about Devil. I always say a couple movies to watch. You got to watch 2 movies at least right now, top of my head. Of course, you got to watch Idiocracy. If you've not seen that, watch Idiocracy. But also watch a Keanu Reeves and Al Pacino movie called Devil's Advocate. It represents DC and to a certain extent New York City, but definitely DC to the T. To the T. I've seen everything in that movie in real life in DC. Real talk. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes, not just on television, not just reading about it, I've seen it with my own 2 eyes in person. All right. Now, not literally, like I've not seen Al Pacino become the devil. I've not seen that, but I've seen things that are kind of close to it. I sure have. Anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. But yeah. Hey, hopefully these guys get found alive, but I doubt it. It's 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, Wednesday, and they said the cutoff for the oxygen is tomorrow morning, basically. Tomorrow by 12 noon, they've not been found, it's over with. So all they're going to be able to do at this point is try to recover the vessel, and they might not ever recover it. It took them a long time to find the Titanic anyway. Hold on. How long did it take to find the Titanic? Look, it took them 73 years to find the Titanic. And the Titanic is humongous. It was the Titanic. It took them 73 years to find that. Now I understand we have modern technology. It could be easier nowadays, but still, it took them 73 years to find that. So you think this little teeny vessel with 5 guys on it is going to be easy to find? They can't find it now. They're searching the area of 12,000 square miles, the size of Maryland. They're searching, and they can't find it. They say they hear banging in the area every 30 minutes, but they still can't. They're going right to where the banging is, but they still can't find it. And they're saying that it might not be from human origin or it could be a different person. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. The thing about the Titanic is that it was just so down deep, 12,000 feet. I mean, that's not easy to find. All right. Yeah, 73 years. They're probably not going to get found, unfortunately. So, hey, if you want to be a thrill seeker, you want to be a guy that's out there just trying to, you know what I mean? Hey, you might want to think twice about that. I wouldn't do it if I was you. I would not do it, but that's just me. You know, who am I? I'm just a guy out here talking on these interwebs. But let's keep on going. We got quite a few things to talk about. All right, hold on. So they had this cartoon, season 9, episode 19 of The Simpsons. I'm gonna look it up right now. And you're probably trolling, but I'm gonna check it out. Oh, you might be right. hold on. He was in Naval Reserve, Reactor Corps. Oh, he was in the Navy, basically, in the Russia, Ukraine. Okay. Well, there's something there. I'm gonna look at that episode a little bit later. The Simpsons season 9, episode 19. I'm gonna look into that. 1998. Homer causes an international incident after he joins Naval Reserves. Very interesting. I'll check it out later. But do you guys think that the sub just, like, what's your opinion about the sub? Do you think that it just got the hull got some kind of way compromised? Was it something where somebody sabotaged it intentionally? What do you guys think happened? Do one of the guys have info about the Clintons? You had 2 billionaires on board. Did somebody have a vested interest in these guys vanishing, disappearing up underwater? Because, hey, that's probably the best way to do it. If you are able to get these guys underwater where nobody can find them, because you can't just go underwater and find these guys. It's not going to be very easy to do. Again, 73 years to find that gigantic Titanic underwater. They looked for a long time to find it and took them that long. So with this vessel, it'll probably be the same thing, especially if it's inside the Titanic. How they going to be able to get to it, even if they can't find it? So it could have been sabotage. It could have been a thing to actually hurt these people. I have no idea. But whatever your thoughts are, y'all let me know what's going on with it. But we have more here, more topics to discuss. Did I get to, I got to Blackrock, Hunter Biden, Rainbow Railroad. Hold on, there's more. Yeah, Rainbow Railroad. Let's talk about that right quick. So there's an LGBTQ LMNOP realtor in Dallas, Texas, who once had the Rainbow Railroad. Now, that was offensive to me. Y'all can't just move. It's not, y'all can't just leave. Rainbow Railroad, why you got to incorporate the black stuff into your thing? I hate that so much. We saw that last time with your man, Rose Montoya, the Mexican transgender, right? This dude talking about, or this person, this year's him, whatever the pronouns are, talking about he wants to apologize to the black community. It's like, what's that got to do with it? It's like, look, you guys were out there at the White House flashing your stuff. There was nobody black up there. So why are you mentioning race and why are you mentioning black folks? It was the Hispanics, the whites. It was them right there. Just because you're Hispanic or white, it means nothing. So what? Don't mention the race. Just say that you did something wrong and own up to it. That's it. But anyway, I don't like when they try to put the black and the brown into the LGBT. If you're gay, that's fine. Just say that. Just be gay and that's it. You don't got to put race into it. All right. Like, anyway, I digress. So this guy wants to have the Rainbow Railroad, the Underground Rainbow Railroad, to escape Texas and to flee. Now, I'm going to say one thing. I don't think the Texas residents are going to shed a tear about these guys leaving. If you want to leave Texas that bad, go ahead. Ain't nobody stopping you. Go to California. They losing the population as it is. Now, I don't wish that on you guys in California. Don't misunderstand me. But California lost 500,000 people over the course of 2 years. 500,000. Now, they lost 700,000, but they gained 125 or more. So they got a net loss of 500,000 people in 2 years. But I think in Texas, they got a net gain of 894,000, 900,000 people in Texas in that same period of time. So, hey, California losing House reps because population loss. They're having a problem. You guys go back to California, populate that. Now, it's expensive. That's fine. You're paying all the money in the world to live out there. If you're going to San Fran, good luck living out there. Do you know what the poverty line is for San Francisco, California? The poverty line is $81,000 for poverty in San Francisco. $81,000. Look, out here where I live, if you make $81,000, you're rich. You are rich. Appalachia, 81,000, please. You're doing very well. Listen, my neighborhood, my subdivision, the houses are like 400,000 or more, between 400 and 500,000, right? Well, that's what they were, but different story. Anyway, they're up there in that particular ballpark, right? When I moved in, when I talked to my finance guy, he said the minimum income is 61,000 to be approved for the loan. Now that's still pretty low, because if you make that kind of money living here, it's going to be a stretch. I mean, how are you going to furnish it? How are you going to take care of ancillary things? But you can afford to get financed by that kind of money and live in a home, very nice home, nice community, subdivision, no crime at all, beautiful, peaceful, everything's good. 61,000, that's your minimum income. So if you make 81,000 here, you're doing very well. You can have a nice house, easily a 3.2 or a 4.3, no problem. Get you a car. You can have a wife and 2 kids and a dog. You could be the sole breadwinner off of 81,000. That is poverty in San Francisco, California. So it's expensive out there, very expensive. All right, but hey, if you want to go back to California, you want to flee Texas, go ahead and go for it. But you're going to pay. You know what I don't like? Because I was talking about this on Twitter, and people talking about, the South sucks, all this and that. It's like, I've been hearing that my whole life from people that live down here. You have a guy, here's what I would always hear when I was a little kid, or I was younger. In middle school, it'd be a brand new kid from New York. What's up, son? I'm from New York, son. Yo, what's slow down here, son? It's mad slow down here, son. It's like, look, man, I don't care about none of that you're talking about. I don't care about no son, none of that. If you don't like it in Virginia, go back to New York. Go back to Brooklyn and hang out with the roaches and the rats. Go back to your pet rat in Brooklyn and don't come to Virginia. Shout out to all the guys in New York. Nothing against you guys, but I would hate the former New Yorkers who would come to Virginia and hate. And then they'll do the same thing for 20 more years. It's like, sir, you've been in VA since 1994. You are a Virginia person now, okay? We went to the same middle school, high school, college. You 40 years old now with kids and grandkids. You are a Virginian at this particular point in time. Stop it. Anyway, the point is, people always complain about where they go, although they got a better life. You escaped a thing where you're from, and now you're here living a better life. What's the problem? Don't complain. Just love it. Just love it. But these guys want to leave Texas on the Rainbow Railroad because they're LGBT and they're afraid of what's going on. They're talking about, there are certain rules that are being passed that are against me, all this and that and the third. But really, ain't nothing. All they want is to do whatever they want to do and not have any kind of... The one guy I was talking about, he's going to leave Dallas to go to Michigan. It's like, Michigan, where are you going to go? Detroit? Is that going to be a better place for you to live? If you could like make me pick between Dallas and Detroit, there ain't no contest. I'm going to Dallas every time. I'm going to Dallas. I don't care if I'm left or right. I'm going to Dallas over Detroit. If not Detroit, then where? You going to some small town in the UP? If you're going to do that, then what are we talking about? You're going to a more conservative place anyway. So why you got to leave Texas and go to a so-called blue state when you're going to go to a small conservative town in that blue state? Makes no sense, but whatever. All right. But that's that. Now, hold on. There's more I wanted to get into about this whole thing. Oh, I wanted to get into a video speaking about that particular thing. The Rainbow Railroad, and then there was something else. What was there about the Rainbow Railroad? The whole thing with the Michigan. Hamtramck, they banned the pride flag. Did you guys see that? And then a lady was freaking out wearing the clown nose and the Hamburglar outfit. And then Wendy from Wendy's popped up. That was crazy. Hold on. I got to find that right quick. Yeah, that video was completely crazy. Completely crazy. So basically, here's what happened. The city of Hamtramck, which is surrounded by Detroit, Michigan, so it's right there in Detroit, they have an all-Muslim city council. Now, they banned the pride flag from city property. All they're going to do is fly the flag of Hamtramck, maybe even Detroit, Michigan, the U.S., POW, MIA, and other nations' flags. But they're not going to fly any political, no LGBT, none of that, Black Lives Matter, no flags like that, no political, personal interest stuff. They're not going to fly it. And there was a small little protest that happened as a result inside of the city council meeting. And the video from that was totally nuts. Oh, I'm showing the clown nose clip right now next online. I got you, boss. I got you. I'm here for you, boss.
And we start with breaking news right now out of Hamtramck. After hours of debate and hearing from residents, City Council makes a decision on displaying pride flags on city property. In fact, just within the last 10 minutes, City Council amended a resolution that would ban the pride flag from being flown on city-owned properties. Good to have you with us here at 11. I'm Devin Skillion.
And I'm Christy McDonald. In for Kimberly Gill tonight, Jacqueline Francis is there live with just how we got to this point. Jacqueline.
Yeah, that meeting is still going on right inside that door, and that vote came down just minutes ago. As you said, the council voting unanimously to approve the resolution. Take a look at the vote.
Hold on. That jacket she had on is totally crazy. Like, what is that? But anyway, let's go to the city council meeting, shall we?
The vote.
Councilman Rafai.
Yes.
Councilman Mahmoud.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, Resolution 23.
And that vote coming after hours of contentious debate.
But we will have the world in 2 straight miles. So it's a little bit, it's covert. So it's not right on the nose.
So on the nose was hilarious. Do you see what she has on? Like, I don't know what inspired this outfit. Hold on 1 second. You have on a horizontal stripe, black and white shirt, and it's long sleeve and kind of turtleneckish, and you have on the red clown nose. Is there a particular reason why? What are you dressed as? The Hamburglar? What is going on? This crowd is a crazy mess.
The world in 2 straight miles. So it's a little bit, it's covert. So it's not right on the nose.
Big displays of public disapproval for the proposed resolution.
So she was trying to create a flag for Hamtramck that would include the rainbow. I mean, my thing is, why must the sexuality of a person be so much into everybody's face? Whatever y'all two do behind closed doors is fine. If y'all play basketball, y'all play tennis or whatever, man, look, that's up to y'all. If you and Eli Manning right there play catch and two-hand touch in your garage or your bedroom, so what? That's not my business, okay?
Followed by a very public display of affection.
My man, Habibi, Habibi was like, oh my goodness, oh no, it's so haram. My man about to pass out. This is not haram. This is not okay. It is 100% haram. You don't do this in his culture at all. Okay, is not gonna fly. My man right here is kind of modern. He's like, yo, that's kind of crazy. This guy right here, Habibi, is not feeling it. And I don't blame you, boss. I don't blame you.
I'm all for removing the gay pride flag. Because you know what? Let me tell you something. This is America. I have the right to say I'm against the gay pride flag. If anyone has an issue with it, they could go kick rocks.
The resolution proposed by Mayor Pro Tem Mohammed Hassan states the city will not allow any religious, ethnic, racial, political, or sexual orientation group flags to be flown on the city's public.
So it says only the American flag, the flag of the state of Michigan, the Hamtramck flag, the prisoner of war, and the nation's flag represent the international character of our city shall be flown. That's all they're going to fly. Now, some are going to kind of be a little bit upset at the last part about different flags of different nations, but that's better than having any kind of political flag like the pride or that particular political party, None of that going on. right? We're talking about nation flags, and really the main thing, the American flag and the Michigan flag and the flag of the city that we live in, Hamtramck.
Property. The only flags allowed would be the American, state, and city flags, along with other nation flags and the prisoner of war flag.
I relocated from California to Hamtramck. That's
Okay, so we have Wendy from Wendy's. What in the world? Like I said in my video, we got the Hamburglar, then Wendy from Wendy's. Is your hair that bright red naturally? And who had the bright idea for you to put on a yellow Kango looking hat on top of red hair? You're looking like Hollywood Hulk Hogan right now. Well, not even Hollywood, the original Hulk Hogan from the 80s in WWF, doing the big leg drop and all that kind of good stuff. Okay, you're looking like the original merchandise machine Hulk Hogan in the 80s right now, and also Wendy from Wendy's combined. This is a mashup, WWF Wendy's mashup right now.
really far away. And I did it because I thought it was a diverse community.
You don't see my family sitting there putting the flag and say, I'm going to put the Lebanese flag down your throat. You keep your flag, you want to put it at your house, put it at your house. Do not put it on city property, and do not put it in our schools. Yes, nice and simple.
Before voting to approve the resolution, the council members and the mayor made comments of their own, saying that this is not about targeting one specific group, adding that if you let one flag in, you'd have to let all the flags in. Reporting live from Hamtramck, Jacqueline Francis.
Shout out to her, great reporter. That story was crazy. It had everything. You got the Hamburglar, you got Hulk Hogan from 1987 doing a promo right there in front of the city council. You got Wendy from Wendy's. You got the clown nose. You got Habibi, who is totally triggered about what's happening. You got regular normies getting triggered. You got memes that have been birthed from this. Oh, you got memes because there was one particular part of the, there's one particular part of the city council. Like, for some reason, as you see back here in the back, there's like a lot of people in the door. I don't know why they're right there in the door like that and why they were not allowed to come in. But part of that has become a meme. My man right here with the Kango hat on. I don't know what it is with Hamtramck and Kangos. You got the black guy in the back with the white leisure suit on and a black Kango. Then you have Hulk Hogan, Wendy with her yellow Kango on. I don't know what it is. Do they have free Kango delivery drives in Hamtramck? I don't know what's happening. But yeah, it was a mess. But I'm glad that they got that resolved, and I hope that other city councils do the same thing. But you know, the main thing they were able to do was kind of be on the same page by being Muslim and not allowing the ridiculousness, the wokeness to overwash them. So shout out to them for that. Okay, you're going to see a lot more of that, I think, around the country. You know, more religious city councils coming together and banning a lot of this stuff. It's got to be that way. It's certainly got to be that way. Oh, the place was packed. Standing room only, for sure. All right. Now, do I have more? I may have more for you guys. Then I get to the calls. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Let me, I might have that meme, actually. I might have that. But I also may have some more videos for you guys. And then we're going to get to the calls. But yeah, it's been crazy out here over the past few days on these interwebs. Getting a whole lot of emails about different things going on, but I covered quite a bit. I think we are good to go on that end. Let's get to the super chats, then we'll keep on going. So again, the deadline for the Submarine is coming up. That'll be tomorrow, really, tomorrow morning. If there's no movement by tomorrow morning, it's over. Now, I'm going to tell you this. If for some reason these guys rise to the surface later, like Friday, Saturday, we got some explaining to do. Somebody got some explaining to do if these guys wash up unharmed a week later. If that happens, we got aliens. Because ain't no way that should be happening. Because oxygen is oxygen. You need it. You can't, look, you got 4 days of oxygen, And if you don't have it, you don't have it. So what are you going to do? There's not much you can do at the end of the day. All right. And let's get to super chats right quick. Let me see. Let's go to the first one. Thank you to Jim with Juice for being a member of the ABL squad. Thank you to Nick Coriel, who says thoughts on the Tates being indicted. It was kind of a foregone conclusion. They got laws over there in Romania. I just hope that they have a fair trial. But the problem with them is that they're in a different country. They should have left Romania. Like if I'm Andrew and Tristan Tate, I would have bounced. I would have fled. Like I remember back in the day, and I won't name anybody's name, but I was hearing about guys that would leave the country when they were facing indictments. And I ain't talking about going to Mexico. It was one white dude that went to Ireland. He went to Ireland, fled the country. Regular hood white dude, but of course you got a lot of Irish guys in the hood, a lot of Italian Irish. Like the way it is, if you guys know, you guys are smart, but in a lot of like poor areas, you have like people of lower classes together of different races. Like you have the Irish, Italian, the blacks, the Hispanics. You have them in kind of like one area together. So one hood white dude fled to Ireland when he about to catch a case. Yep. Blend right in. It was crazy. I know one dude I grew up with, my man Steve. Shout out to Steve. He wasn't the guy that went to Ireland, though. This is somebody else. But Steve, this dude, straight Irish. And I was watching TV, and it was about some prison in Ireland. And I thought I saw him. I was like, is that Steve right there? But it was not him, but the guy looked identical to him. I'm talking about the exact same. Copy and paste face, but it was not him. This guy had a really strong Irish accent. The guy I know was a hood white dude that talked just like me. But anyway, I digress. Thank you to Michael Critchlow, who says, shout out to Elon Musk for declaring cis and cisgender as slurs on Twitter. Threatens account suspensions. Shout out to him for that. That's fantastic. That is fantastic, because why we got to call ourselves, like, I'm not cisgender. I'm a man, and that's it. Ain't nothing else to it. You don't got to put some prefix on what I am. Just call me a man. Shout out to Kaish Posthumous, who says, how about Durham dropping bombs on booms in Congress today? I like what he did there, but at a certain point, I want to see some action. No dog and pony. Thank you to Bryce Russo, who says, love the channel. Do you feel the country is screwed going forward? Take care. 100 thumbs up. I think we're going to be okay, but it's going to take a lot of effort from all of us to get on the right track for sure. For sure. Thank you to William Scott for being a member. Thank you to superfluidity of whatever. I ain't going to read that. Who says, war ends when Ukraine agrees to neutrality. No NATO, and Russia annexes only the part of Ukraine that is Russia-friendly speaking, not all of Ukraine. Well, they already got that. They got the Donbass and Crimea. They want Ukraine, because the problem is that NATO wants Ukraine too. So it's a tug of war between Russia and NATO, and whoever wins is going to win. Ukraine will not be independent regardless of what. Either they're going to be part of NATO and run by them, basically controlled by their wishes, the same way they were when Joe Biden went there talking about, if you don't fire Victor Shokin, then we're not going to give you this $1 billion. They're going to be controlled by the East or the West. It's nothing else to it. So there will be no independent Ukraine, period. Thank you to Bob K. MIT, who says they do NDT tests on every weld, on every U.S. subhole, and they don't anywhere need that deep. Okay, so they don't have to go anywhere near that deep, but they still do the NDT test. That's the non-destructible test, if I'm not mistaken. Thank you to Boat versus Windshield, who says, I've worked in a chemical plant. Those wells need to be x-rayed for sure. We had a crew spend 2 years scanning our plant, and still people died. It's must. Exactly. Thank you to Aaron Bethay, who says, research USS Thresher and USS Scorpion. It doesn't take much to sink a sub to crush depth. DEI will get people killed. Just wait until it hits the civilian aviation community. The Russians are still recovering from wokeness. Thank you for that. They could F range your Xbox who says 5,568.181818, etc. pounds per square inch. That's a lot of pressure. They get someone Neat Price who says it's crazy to see people celebrating their impending deaths just because they're rich. People are cold. People are crazy. People are, like I said, I hope they get back safely. Celebrating deaths is crazy. It's like, why are we celebrating? It's like, do we know them? Are they bad people? Now, if it's Jeffrey Epstein or somebody like that, okay, cool. But who are these guys? Thank you for your super chat. Thank you to Lothair who says, the Underground Rainbow Railroad, in my opinion, that's pathetic. As a buy, we're not dealing with that much oppression compared to the 90s. Please just stop it. Thank you to J-Man Truth Seeker for being a brand new member of the ABL supporter team. Thank you to Lothair who says, loving the show, man. Thank you for that. And thank you to Aaron Bethay who says, RMS Titanic was found by accident. It's not likely they'll find a submersible Titan anytime soon. They won't. They're not going to find it. If it's that deep on the ocean floor, it's done. It's done. Somebody said there should be an air tag on the submersible and then they can find it that way. It's like, is that how it works? I don't think those really work underwater like that, but hey, I could be wrong. I think maybe if there was a way to locate, if there was a way to put a tracker on something that could sink underwater, they probably would have done it. But maybe they wanted to cut corners and didn't want to. They got all kind of other low-tech, cheap stuff in there. Why not an air tag? I don't think it's going to work down there. Anyway, thank you to Nick for your donation. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. Now it's time to get into the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. The number is always in the description. Also, at a certain point right here and a ticker below me. And if you want to call in through Skype and be right here bottom left-hand corner of the screen, there's an email in the description box. You can go ahead and call me right there. Let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling. If Skype doesn't work properly, it's not my fault. Blame the white man. Just like they want to blame the white man for the sub not working right. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. Yeah, 13,000 feet. Ridiculous, yes. Totally ridiculous, but what are you going to do? All right, let's go to 918. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's up, ABL? I'm JD Scott from Oklahoma. How you doing, buddy?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Hey, not a lot, man. Hey, I was my main topic tonight. I was going to call and talk about the submersible thing that went down the Titanic and.
You're breaking up there, boss.
What's that?
You're breaking up here a little bit. You're breaking up real bad. I don't know what's going on.
Wait, hang on. How about now?
That's better.
Okay, cool.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
You're breaking up still real bad, man. I don't know what's going on, but we'll try again next time because I'm not sure what's happening. It could be me. But thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, hopefully my line's not messed up because I did see some little flickering of the lights a little bit earlier. There could be a red flag. It could be Skype acting up. We'll see. But sorry about that, my man, JB Scotchman. In line speaking to 860.
Hey, Bill.
What's happening?
Definite Ranger Xbox, brother. How you doing?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Well, I ain't no expert on these subjects, but I have been scuba diving since 1973, since I took lessons in Fort Wayne Southeast YMCA. And I am a certified aircraft mechanic, and I have a degree in aviation maintenance technologies from the National Aviation Academy. So we haven't heard anything about that jet that crashed in the Blue Mountains there. You know,
that's a true thing. I've not heard about it. Heard about it right when it happened, and then no more after that.
Yeah, right. Not a peep. And years back, if I'm not mistaken, a golfer, I believe it was Fuzzy Zeller, his private jet, the same thing happened. The dump, your pressurization dump valve, your turbine engines or jet engines the compressors make a lot of air, and they have compressors that are driven. Some are hydraulic, some are electrical that drive, but they pull the air out of the atmosphere and compress it because that's the problem. It's the inverse problem of bottom of the ocean. There's air up there, same chemical composition, but there's not enough pressure to get it into your lungs. So you got a pressurization system, and the dump valve usually fails. And here's the thing about private aircraft owners. I know from working 14 years in general aviation, they will pay more money to get their Lexus fixed than their airplane.
Wow.
And if any of you guys out there in ABL land, you go out to the airport to ride in the airplane with your friend because he's showing off to you, and the first thing he does is call the fuel truck to come fuel it up. Go back, get in your car, and go home. Because condensation will be in that fuel tank, and there'll be about an inch of water in the bottom of the fuel tank because he left the tanks dry, and the condensation from sunlight to nighttime will cause rain to fall in the tank, and it'll fill up. That's a fact.
Right.
So if you go there, and about weight, that 500-pound woman, okay, she wants everybody else to pay for her fare. The people that brought children on board did pay because they paid for a seat, and their child only weighs 40, 50 pounds. So they paid for her weight. But she's also taken the spot of another passenger. I believe they have, I don't know if today, but back in the 90s when I got my degree, they averaged the seats at $170 each, or 170 pounds each, I'm sorry, for each passenger. But not only are you taking up the space, you're also taking up the weight. And then you got weight and balance issues. And you want that to be correct. And I'm going to close on, yeah, my math is flawless on that. Every atmosphere is 33 feet down. Standard sea level day is 14.7 PSI. So you just do the math from there. You know that standard one atmosphere pressure is 14.7 PSI. Every 33 feet is an extra atmosphere. Then you get to 5,568, 181818181821. That's a lot of pressure per square inch.
Definitely is.
If you put a regular styrofoam coffee cup in one of those cages, just a regular coffee cup, when they bring it back up, it's big enough for a Barbie doll to hold.
Wow.
Because it squeezes it from all sides at the same time. But I want to say something personal about Madison Hathorn. Remember when he talked about the orgies and stuff that he was invited to in Washington?
Yep.
Okay, over 800,000 children a year disappear in America, never to be found. The number one time and place that the most children disappear in one night is Halloween in the counties around Washington, D.C. This push for pedophilia and child molestation is being driven by the World Economic Forum and our leaders and the United Nations. I say it's time to kick the United Nations off U.S. soil. Children are not designed to have sex. My first wife was molested multiple times, and her tubes were wrapped around her uterus. She has all ate up with cysts inside. So she had tubular pregnancies, two of them. So I got to see both my babies as a scrambled mess in a pan outside an emergency operating room. So I don't want to hear this crap, how kids are perfectly capable of having an adult with them for sex. I don't want to hear that. Don't even come around me with that, because somebody's going to end up hurt, and somebody's going to end up in prison. And God bless you, ABL. You know, nobody has the right to mess up anybody's childhood. Nobody. Period. And God bless you. Love the show. God bless America. Let's take our country back, people. Americans come in three colors: red, white, and blue. Be American. God bless. Thank you.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. All right. Shout out to my man for the call. Let's get some more here. Let's go to 859 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, how's it going, bud?
It's all good, man. What's
It's
happening?
me, as from 859. Hey, man, Luciferian Libertarian here, man. I'm happy to hear. I'm loving the show, bro. I like to watch a lot of your videos, man. The independent stuff, I always watch. Mainstream media, not a fan of, man. I was coming here to talk about the show. I heard about the whole like Rainbow Railroad. That's a bit it's a bit sad.
Right.
Well, it's I made that comment that super chat to you. It's like the '90s. Yes, was being gay in the '90s was not the best time period to be in. You were kicked out of your house. You were fired from your job. I mean, not only that, your family would disown you. The '90s was worse. That was the height of discrimination of being gay. Now, being gay now and being bisexual or because I'm bisexual or being lesbian or being trans or whatever, nobody cares. You're not going to lose your job over it. You can sue them for it.
Right.
So this whole Underground Railroad, this whole Rainbow Railroad, it's like, come on, guys, this is not that bad. that's silly. It's also your local government says underage kids should not show up in a drag show. Oh, cry me a river. That's not that bad. that's kind of minimum. And plus, at the same time, why would somebody bring their kid to a drag show? That's adult entertainment only.
Right.
That's insanity. So it's just when I watched that, I was like, dude, we live in 2023. We don't live in 1995. That doesn't make sense. So you want me to move way out into California, who has more crime, higher rent? So I have been like $500 more per rent. How's that make any sense? Really, that doesn't make any sense at all. Where I live at is a pretty red area. I live in Kentucky. I had not even. It's been the longest time that somebody used any kind of form of homophobic slur to me. Nobody gives a crap that I'm gay. So I think it's this whole rainbow thing, railroad. It's silly. It is silly. They're making a molehill out of. They're making an anthill out of a molehill. They're exaggerating everything. It's insanity.
I'm with you, no doubt.
And it's like I was looking through that. It's like, that would have been a possibility back in the '90s or the '80s. Because in the '80s, yeah, you had those problems, and it happened a lot, and yes, a lot of like southern states and stuff like that. But that doesn't happen that often. And there's real issues that is going on now, like with the health industry, with pain management. Some of these companies that make these drugs causing more deaths than the COVID-19 pandemic. Nobody's making news about that, but they care about the flag and the state in their local state capital. I don't give a care if there's a rainbow flag up there or not. I don't care. As long as I can get through my day, I'm fine.
Right.
Your common everyday person, regardless of their sexuality, doesn't give a care about the government and what flag they have on there. And them fighting over it, to my opinion, it's like I'm too busy going to my shift at where I work at. And it is what it is, man. Hey, I'm enjoying the show, man. I have a question for you, bro.
What's up?
Hey, man. When you come by to Lexington, man, we gotta hang out, chill out, drink. I'd buy you a beer, bro.
Right on.
Right on, man. Hey, I'm loving the show, man. Keep on coming up, man. Tell hi to all the callers, bro. See you later, bro.
All right, now.
Much love, man. Bye.
All right, shout out to my man for the call. The number to call is 434-658-1220. 781, your line on speaker 2.
Hey, this is Jay up here in Boston, Mass. Sorry, I got a heavy Boston accent. I am a patriot living in this real liberal hellhole. I just want to make a real quick point, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Trump calls Bill Burr a pig or whatever he said, how does he feel about Jerry Nadler, who was one of the most disgusting swamp creatures in Washington, D.C., craps, poops his pants, lies to the American people. He's just a disgusting, despicable human. And he's allowed to get away with it. It's just totally normal. Everything that he says, it's like the American people don't call him out. The media doesn't call him out. And he's just one of many. You get Adam Schiff, Shifty. So what I'm trying to say is, like, I agree with Trump in his attacks to some of the people that were once loyal to him or who he thought were loyal to him. But at the same time, start going after your enemies or the enemies to the American people, like Shifty Shift, Nadler, and the rest of them. So that's all I want to say. Thanks, ABL, and talk later. Have a great day. Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
And he raises a good point. I have nothing to really kick back on that one. 504 on line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. It's Alien Spaceship.
All right, man. What's going on?
All right. So I have a few things to say. So first I want to say about the Titanic. I was always very enthused with the Titanic from when I was very young. And I think that there's a lot of bad occurrences that happened with the Titanic. Like some cruise ship had a problem when they had the Titanic movie song. And yeah, it seems like it's a cursed thing.
It could be, for sure.
Right. And also more technical is that I like studying things about ships and stuff as well. And I do think from what you said of the way the submarine was created, I think it, wasn't made right. And it's ridiculous about the gear in there, the technical gear. It sounds like something like Chat was saying. It may have ran out of batteries. Something could have imploded. I think some kind of malfunction happened. And when you're having a machine like that or like a ship, you have to test things out over and over and over again, like science. And also, like the Titanic lifeboats were tested to have like 70 men in there. Many people were in there, like the lifeboats. They tested lifeboats and stuff before they create the ship. So I think it's very foolish that they didn't create this thing right, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. But we got to really, I'm sure there's more that'll come out as the days and weeks progress to see exactly what went wrong here.
Yeah, because, I would like to know more about it. Like what exactly happened from when they, the communication got mixed up. And because I know James Cameron and other people went down there perfectly fine.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah. And also, I think that I think it's right for the people to not have the gay pride stuff everywhere in the cities. I think it's good that people are taking a stand. And I will say for the American people and Christianity that it's good that we preserve our, American patriotism and our traditions in our country. And I have had good Muslim friends and they're good Muslim people and they have similarities to us. Now, I wouldn't necessarily want us under Sharia law, but I do think that it's good that we share common similarities in the religion, but I still would want it to be a patriotic Christian country.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely need to have that in America for sure.
Right. And also, in Germany and stuff, they had this stuff similar like this was going on at some point. And then when the Nazis came in and they did a lot of, the genocide and stuff. And I think that it's, best to keep to our, traditional values in America because it could go off the rails. And I think it's very interesting with Joe Biden's son, how finally it's being brought to light what he did.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's something that should be brought to light, but let's get him prosecuted. But that's not going to happen. Well, he'll get prosecuted, but it won't be any penalty, which is really disheartening.
Mm-hmm. I know, because as you were saying before, that you have to be part of the club.
Right. Absolutely.
If and I remember before when I was watching you earlier, you're saying, right, I was looking right at the screen, it's like the federales come to your door, you big rocks, little rocks. And it's like they're going to come in 5 minutes.
Right.
And so, everything's rigged. And I totally agree that these people that do some of the financing people, not all of them, they want their agendas to in my opinion, do bad things to the country and the people and control people, really. And when they control the money, they control the people and the people in power. And they've done this for a very long time, throughout time. And I know things about loaning businesses where they want them all to comply with the woke agenda, and they want them to comply with the like LGBTQ and the BLM stuff. And like the smaller ones, the different ones are all being controlled by the bigger ones. So that is definitely something that people need to be aware of.
Absolutely.
All right. Also, I want to say that Georgia Peach is doing good, and her mom is still in hospice, but she's being cared for.
Well, that's good. That's good to hear. Very good.
All right. That's all I have to say for this call. Thank you.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate it.
Okay, bye.
All right. Shout out, man, for the call. Most certainly appreciate them. Thank you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Let's go to 470. Oh, you're the line I'm speaking to.
God save the queen, man.
And they've done this.
Hey, ABL. How'd you like that one?
That was amazing. Loved it.
Yeah, it was Greg from Wild and Wacky Atlanta. Yeah, so that was weird for two reasons. Because number one, we don't have a queen, and number two, Queen Elizabeth has been dead for about 9.5 months since early September of last year.
Right. Yeah.
So he is getting more and more bizarre as time goes on. It's sad and funny at the same time to watch. But it's really pathetic to watch how he's washing our country down the toilet. So anyway, but hey, that Titanic sub, sorry, the sub that went down to look at the Titanic or whatever, man, that's pathetic. $250,000 to go down there and die. It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's really not. I mean, if you really were that curious about what's going on down there, just watch some footage. There's no need to go, end your life over that kind of curiosity and thrill seeking.
Right. And they're going to run out of oxygen in about, 14 hours or whatever?
Yeah, by the morning, it's pretty much over.
So the guy who's the CEO of the submarine company or whatever that produced that sub, he doesn't want to hire people that are 50 years old or older that are white.
That's what he said.
To work for him?
Yep.
So what I would do, if I were down there with him, I'd strangle him just as they're running out of oxygen to kill him for hating his own race and for, being an ageist too.
There you go.
Because that's just not right.
Yeah.
He wants diversity hires is what he wants.
Yeah, and that could have been part of the reason why they're about to not survive, unfortunately.
That is so crazy. Why do you want to go down 12,500 feet to die with people there that died 13 years ago?
Hey,
113 years ago.
Yeah.
1912.
Hey, I can't.
That is insane.
I can't really call it. That's not a thing that I really like to do too much. If somebody was to ask me, hey, do you want to go down there 12,500 square feet to look at some 113-year-old records? I'd be like, no, thanks. I'll pass. I can watch YouTube videos just fine.
Yeah, $250,000. Why not just keep that in your portfolio and live and retire rich?
Yeah, but these guys, a lot of these guys are billionaires, so to them that's just like disposable income. But still, your life is not disposable.
Yeah, exactly. I'll bet you. I'm not trying to be negative or anything, but I'll bet you these people don't make it out alive. Their chances are so slim.
It's slim. It's very slim. At this point, because I think they went missing on Sunday. So, I mean, it's now Wednesday night, and we've not seen them at all. So the chances are slim to none.
They could be dead already, for all we know.
They could be. Yeah, I mean, we've not heard anything. So that's the thing. And I think there were certain features in the vessel that make them come up automatically. So like, let's say, for instance, the communication was lost. They will automatically come up in the vessel. There are certain features, but obviously those things didn't work. There's no communication. So they're probably gone already, unfortunately.
Yeah. Wow, crazy, man. Hey, just as a little side note, I had my back checked out because I suffer from scoliosis, and this afternoon I checked out the x-rays, and I have two forms of scoliosis, But the good news is my back is not as crooked as Joe Biden.
There we go.
So anyway, that's all I want to leave you with. Everything's going fine here in wild and wacky Atlanta. I haven't gotten shot, stabbed, molested, carjacked, or raped today. So it's been a good day.
That's a win for sure.
You take care, man. Have a good day, and I'll talk to you later. And go Trump, Trump 2024.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Thanks. America first. Thanks. Bye. Take care.
All right. Shout out to the caller, my man. Great call. But yeah, your man, what's his name? Joe Biden. He's not doing very well. You see him out there talking and speaking nonsense. Him and John Fetterman. Freaking frack. Thing one, thing two. Who am I speaking to? 801, you're on the line.
Yo, what's up, yo? It's Mexico.
All right, what's going on, boss?
Hey, what's up, man? So, I was just thinking about the ironic thing about the whole Titanic, submarine, whatever. And I was watching a thing on History Channel. I think it was either History or Discovery, where they were coming up with some kind of conspiracy theory where it was all planned out because they wanted to, like a lot of the wealthy people. Have you seen that one where the Titanic was purposely sunk because a lot of the wealthy people that were against the Rockefellers and like against J.P. Morgan and all them big banks, they were trying to make a stand against them, and so those were the same people that went on the Titanic, and they ended up sinking them and killing those wealthy people. But yeah, I was watching this. This was like a few years ago, so like my memory's kind of washed with that. But I just thought it was interesting. Like I was thinking, man, I wonder if someone was trying to bust the same move on this billionaire. You know what I mean? Like, billions of dollars, and we're in 2023, and nothing worked. Like that sounds kind of shady, man, if you ask me. But then again, he did say, he didn't want white people to work on it. And so I don't know if he had a bunch of Mexicans work on it. I mean, what was the deal with that? Stuff or something. Which I can kind of understand. I worked in a warehouse with a bunch of white guys, but I mean, I don't know. It's just funny he said that. He's like, yeah, they're not motivating us, so I had to find some younger dude. And, well, you get what you pay for, I guess. I mean, you don't, But what do you think of that conspiracy? I mean, hey, could be something.
I mean, it's definitely something that's it's definitely possible.
Yeah. And then the whole Trump thing, man, I was thinking about it. Like, I was pretty bummed out that he said some stuff that it was like, man, you're kind of incriminating yourself. And then name calling, like I was kind of bummed out about that too. But at the same time, like, if you really think about it, man, this whole thing, like, they're really throwing him in prison for 400 years or something like that over a box that he refused to hand over. Like, let's think about this for a sec, okay? Somebody comes up to you from the IRS or from the FBI or whatever, CIA, and they're like, hey, we need that box right there. And you're like, no, what are you going to do about it? Like, well, we're going to throw you in prison for 400 years if you don't hand it over. Like, no, I don't want to. Like, the fact that they're sitting there arguing over a stupid box, like, is that what it comes down to now? We got to throw someone in prison for 400 years for literally not sliding the box over 3 feet to the FBI? I mean, that sounds pretty petty to me, if you ask me. Like, and then when he was saying, he had to go through some of the stuff, like there was clothes, there was golf clothes that he had in there. Like, what if these boxes came out that they only had clothes in them? Like, do we actually know that there were secret, like, top secret stuff that, like, could hurt the whole American people? I don't think we really know exactly what were in the boxes. And if Trump is saying that there was only clothes and stuff, then that makes it even more ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which, yeah, I just thought that was pretty stupid. Like, are we really going to throw a former president for a stupid box when we have, the most corrupt president in with real evidence of them committing like that. The crime that they're putting Trump in is like something that I would think of like 2-year-olds. Like, hey, give me that candy. No. Like, really? Do I really need to come there and body slam you to give me that candy? Like, are we really doing that compared to, the Biden's corruption, the past, Hillary Clinton and everybody in the past that we know, did all of them dirty works and stuff? Like, it just sounds so politicized, man. That's ultimately what it comes to. But I'm just bummed that he kind of said what he said, and it might put him in prison, but whoever the next president is, man, they better pardon him. You know what I mean? Just because I feel like it's totally politicized.
No, I hear you. Absolutely. 100%.
All right, bro. Keep up the good work. Love you and take care.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't actually go to the penitentiary. And I think this is just a thing they're trying to get him to be caught up in court action to not be able to campaign. 814, allow him to speak to.
Hi, my name is, you want my real name?
Or whatever you want to be called.
I go by the name of Awake. That's my YouTube name, so that's my name, if that's okay.
That's fine. So what's going on?
This is ABL.
It is. You're speaking to me live.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, fantastic. I love your show. Absolutely great. I got a couple topics that I'd like to hit on, if that's okay. The first being the alphabet mafia that seems to have been taking over our society. I'm a little bit older, so I'm going to go back in history. There's always been gay people, gay males, gay females, and it was no problem. They did their own thing. They were adults. Where I have a problem is where now the alphabet mafia is trying to push this agenda, and it's absolutely an agenda, on the young children. That's where I draw the line. I have a problem with these drag queen shows at preschools and story time with drag queens in front of little children. To me, it's nothing more than indoctrination, and it's wrong, very wrong. And it's going to be the downfall of our country. That's a whole generation that will be lost. So that was point one that I wanted to make. That's something that really perturbs me.
Right on.
The other, there's a lot of things that perturb me. The missing money that they, Sony came up with all this missing money, and of course the current administration decided that they're going to, give it to Ukraine. Well, Zelensky's nothing more than a grifter, sucking off of our tax-paying money. I don't think the American people should have to pay for this proxy war. I don't think it's fair. I think if they found some missing money, I do believe it should be returned to the taxpayers in a form of either a refund, tax credit, or, we've got so many people in our country that are hurting financially for rent, for food, for you name it, health care. Why do we keep dumping money into this proxy war? It makes me absolutely sick. And I feel like our country's, it's going down the tubes, and I don't know what to do. And I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way.
Yeah, it's definitely a serious problem. I mean, the best thing, of course, people got to get involved with the process of electing certain officials to get in there and make some changes. That's the best way to go about it, because the people who got in there right now, they don't know what they're doing, and they're making everything worse.
That's the truth. And one last comment. When Sleepy Joe said, "God bless the Queen," I think he was confused and thought he was still at that drag show that he held on the White House lawn with all the drag queens and the alphabet mafia out there and, showing their breasts and body parts. When he said, "God bless the Queen," he might have meant a drag queen.
Hey, that's a good point. He might have been referring to that for sure.
I want to thank you. Love your show, man. Keep up the good work.
Well, thank you for the call. Definitely.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Bye.
That's a really good point. Couldn't talk about a drag queen. Yeah, that is a very good point. All right. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and get to some more calls here. The number to call, 434-658-1220. 304, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? Okay, we having a problem with Skype. Give me 1 second here. I told y'all about Skype. Blame the white man. let's go ahead and restart Skype right quick. Y'all please hang tight for me. Yeah, that Skype, it kind of works when they want to work. Sometimes you get a little bit too close to the truth. All of a sudden, oh, well, Skype don't want to work. Skype wants to just shut down on me. All right. Let's get it restarted. Y'all give me a second. There we go. And let's do 909. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, hi, ABL.
Hello?
Hi, ABL?
Yes.
Oh, hi. How you doing?
I'm well. About yourself?
I'm good. I just want to say something to Ivan. I want his opinion on something if he calls in. Is that okay?
Go ahead.
I want to know what he thinks about Biden saying he's going to build a railroad from the Pacific all the way across to the Indian Ocean.
Okay.
I want to know what he says about that.
All right.
Okay.
I got you.
And then I have the Chinese friend that's going to be calling. He's going to be calling you tonight. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. His name is Hung Long.
Okay. There we go. Hung Long. Okie dokie.
Okay. Bye.
Oh man. Like, I don't even know, man. I don't even know what's going on. What in the world? How you gonna be a Meemaw troll? What in the world's going on here? Like, am I living in the Twilight Zone? What's happening? Okay, your grandbaby should be the trolls, not you. What is going on? Anyway, I digress. I'm getting triggered. 304 to the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's Derek the Mountain Dog, your favorite Georgia/West Virginia.
All righty. What's going on, boss?
Hey, give me one quick second. Let me mute you right quick. I actually wasn't taking your answer. Can you hear me?
I hear you well.
Okay. No, man, I got a couple of things I was wanting to say. A couple questions too. Man, I feel kind of weird, or not weird. Just I feel like I'm beating a dead horse because I'm asking or talking about some of the same topics everybody else that's called in has talked about. But like the Rainbow Railroad. Okay, so this guy, he's taking people, he's escaping them from Texas and taking them to Michigan. Who's paying for
that? That's a good question. Whoever is moving, I would suppose, hopefully it's just them and not any kind of federal money.
Yeah, so I mean, who if that's what that guy feels like he needs to do, I'm sure a large percentage of Texans, they probably feel like that guy's doing them a favor for the most part. I mean, so really, who cares if he does that, right? I mean,
I'm right there with you, boss.
I mean, I guess if I lived in Michigan, I might be concerned about that. But if you live in Texas, like, okay, you know, whatever. But anyways, the submarine, I commented whenever you did your video, I commented, you know, like we've only explored like 5 to 10% of the ocean, right? I mean, is that?
If that, probably less than that, actually. So the ocean is very big. It's a lot of it all over the world. It's not an easy thing to explore.
Yeah, so we don't really even know what's down there, right?
That's right.
Like, so is it a possibility, or am I just reaching, that something possibly could have just swallowed that submarine?
It's possible because it wasn't really that big. They said it was like the size of a minivan. So, I mean, some of these sperm whales, they get really big. I mean, who knows? Anything could have happened. What you're saying right now is not beyond what's possible, in my opinion.
Yeah, I didn't think so either because, you know, I watched like a little short video about whales, and the largest whales, I guess they might be the sperm whales, but their veins, a human can flow in their veins. Like, that's how big their veins are.
Yeah.
And that's like a 6 foot tall, man can just flow through their veins. So if their veins are that big, they could easily swallow something the size of a minivan, right?
I mean, that's definitely something that's possible, in my opinion.
And if we've only discovered 5% or so of the ocean, who knows there's not something, astronomically bigger than that.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
But I mean, I hope they show up. I mean, I'm not trying to make a joke about them, because I think they're done. But also, I wanted to talk about that as far as, a lot of rich people, they got, and not all, but a lot do. They they got dirty money or whatnot for whatever reasons. I don't know these people, but maybe they wanted to be disappeared, on purpose. Maybe they just took this little trip and then, never be found again on purpose.
I mean, anything's possible.
I know I'm kind of being like a tinfoil hat wearer here, but I'm just thinking about it, what could have been.
Right, now I got you.
All right, this one right here is. I just want to say one more thing. It might make some people mad on your channel, but don't think I'm against anything. I just want to say this. All right, so Trump, he pardoned Lil Wayne and Kodak Black. Lil Wayne had a gun charge. Kodak Black, he had a gun charge. I don't know if you've heard of the rapper Kuda B, but while he was in prison, Trump passed some legislation called the First Step Act that was able for him to be released earlier than he was expected. And I think he was on some type of RICO charge. But you think Trump did that just to possibly gain some of the black vote?
I mean, possibly, but that's what you do when you are trying to be in politics. You do things to appease certain people. I mean, everybody does that, so I wouldn't necessarily see that as a thing that's, probably so.
Yeah, I'm not hating. I was just, I just figured, that was. I mean, they didn't hurt anyone as far as I know. I mean, Kuda B, he was involved in a shooting, but nobody died. Lil Wayne didn't kill nobody, as far as I know. Neither did Kodak Black, but he pardoned them. It's just like, hey, look what I'm doing for and not only was it just black folks, it was kind of famous. Well, Lil Wayne's really famous, but it's like, look what I did,
Right.
But no, like I said, I don't want to, think that I'm a leftist lunatic out here. I just figured I'd bring that up.
Makes sense.
All right, man. But I'm gonna get off here, man. Thanks for taking my call, bro.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right, bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. 773, who am I speaking to?
ABL, it's your retired Chicago police officer friend. How you doing?
Well, man, about yourself?
I'm good. ABL, there is no conspiracy here with the submarine. Here's the problem. Just like people that climb Mount Everest, and some of them die, that's a risky thing to get into a submarine and go to the bottom of the ocean to go see Titanic. It's the same thing with Mount Everest. Sometimes people just die. It's a risky thing. This is not Universal Studio, a half-hour ride. This is a risky thing, and accidents happen, things happen, mishaps happen, and in my mind, that's exactly what happened. When you watch documentaries on Mount Everest, sometimes they take too many people. The line gets bunched up. There's a short window to climb Mount Everest. A lot of people are doing it, and you make it up to the summit, but now you have to make it down. They might have made it down there, and they got to see Titanic, and when they tried to come up, something went wrong, and when something goes wrong down there, It's not like a car that has a flat tire. You don't just pull over and, step out and say, oh, let's see what's wrong. Oh, I see that. There's a loose screw here. You can't do that. And that's exactly what happened. You took a risk and it didn't work out, in my mind. Simple as that. Also, ABL, I wanted to comment on your video where the guy was locked out of his house because he had his whole house hooked up on the, on his cell phone. And there was an allegation that he made a racial slur. So they wiped, they whatever they did, they canceled his phone. So now nothing works. Well, this is what happens with technology. With technology, it's nice, it's nice and convenient to lay in your bed and yell out in the air for the drapes to open up and for the coffee to start and everything else. But once it goes wrong, it's not as simple as flipping a switch anymore. As a matter of fact, I saw on a video, I like to look at construction of houses and all that. There's a smart house. It doesn't even have any wall switches. The whole thing is made on, is made off of the smartphone and everything else. Turn on your heat, turn on your lights. You just have to talk into the air. Well, what happens when it goes wrong? So that's my take on that. And one last thing I'd like to say, ABL, and I know it's always like I'm, giving a speech here instead of a back and forth discussion, but Trump needs to kind of pull back a little bit. You've been indicted. You've been indicted now. Could you imagine trying to be Trump's lawyer? Please just shut up. Do not say these things. They're now admissible in the court. Please stop talking. Even though it's a bunch of BS, and we all know it's BS, and we all know he's been targeted, unjustly, you have been indicted. Do not speak. Do not talk anymore. You might sabotage yourself. You have to realize that, that when you're talking, you're testifying. That's some of your testimony. It will be brought up in the court. And I know that more than most people do, ABL. Don't say anything, because whatever you say can and will be used against you in the court of law, and it will. They'll bring these tapes up. They'll bring these interviews up. Well, you said this. You said that. That's the same with Jussie Smollett. I love that Jussie Smollett got on TV and started talking. And, that's your testimony. That is a trick that we, the police, have used. Here's the thing. I'm not going to let you know what I know. I want you to tie yourself into a story. I want you to say that you went here and you went there when I know you did not, because now you've been proven a liar. You have locked yourself into a story that doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. And now you're going to have a hell of a time trying to get out of that story. Not to say that Trump has to get out of any story, but you can't take it back once you say it. Just please, realize who you're talking to and what you're doing. Trump, if Trump was a little bit, and I love Trump, I really do. I think we need him. Look at how the economy was with Trump. But if Trump was just a little more diplomatic, instead of all that tweeting that he did, he would have been president 8 years in a row. He would have. All he would have had done is he just had to run off of his results. Look at the economy. Look at the stock market. The border's safe. We're not in a war. Everything else. Now look what happened. I'm surprised that China hasn't gone after Taiwan already, because they know that Joe Biden is weak. And when you have a weak leader, people take advantage of you. So that's my 2 cents, ABL. And thanks for taking my call this week, and I'll talk to you later.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Very good call. Yeah, he's right about the whole thing with China, Taiwan. It's like, why not take it right now? What's anybody gonna do? Like, you're gonna do this right now, and it won't be a thing that's done. Yeah, I won't be surprised at all if that happened. Not in the least bit. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Yeah, so they will soon. And they might just go into Taiwan because it's like, why not? Why not go in there and just take it while nobody's going to do anything to stop it? And there's so much going on with that, with everything that's happening overseas. China. Oh, I saw a picture. Speaking about China and America, our foreign relations. Let me see if I can find that picture. The body language in it was crazy. I think this is Tony Blinken and Xi Jinping. Y'all know who they are, of course. Tony Blinken, is he our Secretary General? Who is, like, let me just make sure I'm saying the right thing. Secretary of State. Yeah, Secretary of State, Tony Blinken. I'm going to try to find that picture right quick. Oh, there it is. Perfect. Perfect. Look at this. Look at this. Like, that right there tells you all I need to know. The body language is crazy. Hold on. Let me just scoot up this way. Like, what is that body language right there? What am I even seeing? Okay. This right here is not good. So if we're trying to exude strength, if we're trying to exude power, that's not going to get it done. That is not going to get it done. That's what's happening right now under our current administration. That sums up our relations with foreign countries in one picture right there. Somebody's going to say, oh, it's a bad picture. Look, man, you taking pictures, you got to always be on point. Xi Jinping, you're not going to see Xi Jinping look like that ever. And if you do, hey, you got lucky. All that stuff matters. When you're talking about, heads of state, I mean, all that stuff, it may appear to be kind of irrelevant, but it's not irrelevant. It's very relevant. It matters because people see that. People care about it. They really do care about that kind of stuff. So it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. So, yeah, it really does make a difference. But with that kind of stuff going on overseas, it's only a matter of time before they just say, you know what, we're going to do what we're going to do. We're going to flex our muscles. And what are you going to do about it? Not a thing. You're not going to do a thing. We're going to take you over. We're going to invade wherever we want to invade. And then that'll pretty much be that. It's crazy. And it's to the point where whenever we go to meet with China, we just get embarrassed. Wasn't Tony Blinken the one that got embarrassed in Alaska? Or you guys remember that, where he went to Alaska and we pretty much got scolded by China? That's not good. And of course, China's going to use that propaganda for their own people. So they're gonna return back to the mainland and talk about what happened and show the tape and then talk about how weak he looked, all this and that and the third. Is overall just a bad look for us. All right. 208, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 208, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I hear you well.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me? I hear you.
Okay. Yeah, this is Terry from Boise. Blinken made a comment that we do not support Taiwan while he is over there. He's contradicting the White House, it says.
Yeah, I mean, of course, he's going to go over there and say that because he has no choice. If he says that he supports Taiwanese independence, then that is seen as a form of aggression to China, and he doesn't want to do that. So it doesn't matter what they say over here. He'll say whatever he has to say over there to please them, which comes from a place of weakness and submission, which is pretty pathetic, if you ask me.
Oh, yeah, it's like, they're kissing their butt, excuse me for saying that, to think they're going to, what do I want to say, sweep things under the rug or something like that. I don't know. They're all crooked. But anyway, when I saw that, I was like, dang. But anyway, enough for me. What was it? Never mind. You have a good night. Bye.
Thank you for the call. All right. Shout out to the caller. But yeah, it was pretty embarrassing over there. But I knew that was going to be the case because it was the case last time. So I'm like, okay, he's not going to all of a sudden grow a backbone now. He's not going to all of a sudden become a guy that can hold his own at this particular point. He's just going to do and say whatever he can to, go from point A to point B. It is what it is. All right. But I think that'll be a wrap for my calls. Skype has a little bit of an issue tonight, but it's all good. Thank you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you heard tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. I think I have some super chats here I need to read right quick. Before I wrap up, I'm going to just take a little bit of time to read some of the chat. Because I know I'm a little bit early, but it's all good. I'll give you guys a little bit more time. I'm going to read the chat before I wrap it up. Thank you guys for being here. Of course, we got a few mods in the building. Shout out to you guys for making sure the chat is nice and in check. I appreciate y'all. Somebody said something about hiring a staff. I don't really like to have staff. I like to do things by myself. I've always been that kind of way. I think I get stuff done better when I do things by myself for the most part. I mean, some things I have people that help me with. My merch store, obviously, I don't send out anything. Like, I know some guys that do all of that. I know some guys that are printing the merch and then they'll ship it themselves. Like, they'll be in the post office. It's like, anybody got no time for that. I'm not doing that by myself. I'll have people that handle that for me. Like my brother Brandon Tatum got people that do that for him. He has a office and staff that do that for him. He's not going to be in there printing the shirts and going to the post office. What I do, I have drop shipping, and I do some stuff that's stock at a warehouse. And whenever you guys purchase anything from the merch store, that's all handled over there. They get the percentage, I get my percentage, and it's good. It's no problem. But as far as like my video content, recording, editing, all of that, I do that myself. I can get the video out quicker doing it by myself than I would recording it and then sending it to an editor. Like, so it makes no sense for me to hire an editor. Before I did YouTube, I was a video editor anyway. So this is just it makes no sense to me to send it to an editor when I can do it much quicker. It's a lot more simple for me to do it. All right. Oh, Caius Parchment says, what's my take on the Trump and Brett Baer interview? I've not seen a lot of it, to be totally honest with you. I've seen some clips of it, and I think I kind of agree with a retired Chicago police officer friend that he should just not be talking. I'm kind of surprised that he's doing an interview at all and talking about some of this stuff. It's like, why would you come out on television and say this? Like, you're not helping your case. What's going to happen is that will be used against you in court. So I don't really understand what we're doing here. I don't really get it. It's just kind of strange to me. I don't really understand that part. So, and then some things, I don't know. I just wish that Trump would focus more on, I wish that he would focus more on other things, not what he's been doing. Not some of the unnecessary stuff. If it's me and I'm in the middle of being indicted, they're trying to bring me to court, I'm not going to say too much of anything. Or I'm not going to talk about that kind of stuff. All right? That's not really where I'm at. Caddy says you edit for $1. Oh, yeah, right. Okay. That's that Nigerian scammer stuff. All right, that ain't really what I'm trying to get into. All right, thank you, AC. I appreciate you. Shout out to Decoy Voice. I see you in the chat, boss. Shout out Decoy Voice. Great channel. All right, I'm gonna read some of the super chats. Then I wrap it on up. Put the bow clean on top. After I forgot, I'll read some of the chat too. Oh, there's a gag order on Trump. I saw that, David Ray. Yeah, the gag order. That's probably for his own benefit, to be totally honest with you, because he shouldn't really be talking about all this stuff. You should just, kind of put a lid on it. That's what I would do if I was him, because it's not even about anything else other than, hey, I'm not trying to get jammed up. I'm not trying to get jammed up. They're trying to get me locked up. They indicted me over nothing. What am I to do? I'm trying to keep my mouth shut so I don't get in any kind of trouble. And he shouldn't be indicted. We all know that. We know it's a political thing. We know if this was Hillary Clinton, if this was anybody else, even Mike Pence, because the problem is not Mike Pence. The problem is not Hillary Clinton. The problem is not The problem is Trump. They don't want him to be in there because he's a guy that will lead from the front rather than be a puppet and controlled. They don't see these other guys as a threat, so they're not going to weaponize the system against them, but they're doing it to Trump. It's very simple. You know, when you are a threat to the machine, they use the system against you. And things that normally would not be prosecuted, even if it is wrong. Let's just say what Trump did is wrong, allegedly. Let's say the allegations against him are wrong, and let's say there is evidence. It doesn't matter. If this was anybody else, it wouldn't even be brought to court. Hillary Clinton, James Comey, again, got on television and said, there is evidence to pursue a case here, but no reasonable prosecutor will bring forward the case. What that means is, yes, we could prosecute her. Yes, she could go to prison. There is evidence enough to get something going, and she might go. But you're talking about Secretary of State, presidential candidate, the former first lady in the White House for 8 years. We're not going to do that to her. She is above the law. That's what he said. He said it without saying it. Now, that same thing does not apply to Donald Trump because they've been trying for years to get him. The FISA warrant thing, the FBI spying, 2 impeachments. How do you beat 2 impeachments, FISA warrants, FBI spying? You beat all that. Obviously, it's ticky-tack, and it wasn't going to, you know, when the FBI, when they bring charges against you, or any kind of prosecutor that's worth anything, they want to bring a case they can actually win. So let's say, for example, most people know that somebody did something, but you can't really prove it. The case may not be brought not because the person didn't do it. It's because they know that if they go to trial, they're going to lose. The FBI has a very high clearance rate because they only bring forward cases they can win. They have like a 98% clearance rate, something like that, because they work very hard and gather a lot of information to build an airtight case against you. Whatever you're doing out there, whatever kind of crime you commit, they'll let you do it for about a year or 2 or 3 or 10. I know guys that got federal charges in real life, and they were doing what they were doing for years. They were doing it for years and kind of out in the open, and the feds are just watching them, building the case up, and then when they had the case airtight, they had witnesses, evidence, videotape, pictures, audio recordings, financial records. When they had all that, here they come knocking. Mr. Loki, want to come outside with us? Federal agents, come on outside. Don't even try to do nothing. That's what happens. That's what they do. And they coordinate it. They might call CNN. Shout out to Roger Stone. Huh? That's how they do. So then when you go to court, you can't really beat them. All you can do is just say, yeah, I did it, and try to plead to a lower sentence. That's all you can do because they got you at that point. I'm going to tell you a quick story. Then I wrap up, and then I get to the super chat and wrap it on up. So I'm going to change the name to Protect the Innocent, right? This is a true story. I know these guys, but I won't say their names. Now, there was a guy who had a restaurant, right? I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again for guys who have not heard it. A guy had a restaurant, right? And what he was doing was on the side selling drugs to fund the restaurant. Typical story. Anyway, the federales are watching. The feds, not even local, the feds are watching this, okay? Because it was a big money case. They watched him for a long time. They came and indicted him, but they kind of just let him be outside for a while. They didn't keep him in custody. They gave him, they were like, okay, you're being indicted, whatever. He's out. He's not in jail at this point. He's still out and able to work in his restaurant without trying to sell drugs. They were like, look, don't do anything crazy. You are going to be indicted. You are being investigated. Don't do anything crazy. Don't buy anything. Don't get any big purchases. We got our eye on you. So what he does is decide to ignore the advice of the agents, and he goes and buys this really big stove or this oven or something for a new restaurant he had. It was so big they had to open up both of the doors. You know, out in front of a place, you might have 2 doors to open up. They had to open up both of the doors, keep them propped open to bring in this big piece of this big appliance. Right when he did that, they came down like Men in Black. They had the little earpieces in their ears, black and white suits. They came down immediately, straight to the restaurant. Like, we said, don't buy anything. We said, don't buy anything. How do y'all know? We're the FBI. Come on, what are we talking about? We said, don't buy a thing. They know everything was going on. They got all the surveillance. They have everything they need. They're only going to charge you when they know they can win, unless there's a political motivation. In the case of Trump, it's a political motivation. We're going to bring him to court. He can be tied up in court, spending money on lawyers, spending time in the courtroom dealing with that nonsense. How are you going to do your Make America Great Again rallies? How are you going to do that? How are you going to have a rally on August 15th when you got to be on court on August 15th? Huh? You're spending money over here on lawyers, spending money over there on all this stuff you got to do. It's like the whole Ukraine thing with Russia. You're trying to drain Russia's resources through the proxy war with Ukraine by funding Ukraine to quote unquote fight for their right and fight for the sovereignty. Really, it's not even about that, because what's going to happen when the war is over with, either NATO will have Ukraine under their thumb or Russia. It's not even about their sovereignty. So even if they're not successful in helping Ukraine, quote unquote, defeat Russia, all that'll happen is that Ukraine will become basically a colony of NATO. Anyway, I digress. Not a movie at all. That was a true story I told you about, the whole thing with the Men in Black, the earpieces, and the big appliance. I know that guy, and I was there when it happened. I sure was. I was there. They tried to get me on something else, but I won't talk about that because that might be a little bit too on the nose. Anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoyed the show tonight, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, we got super chats, and then I'll read those. Thank you to Nick for your donation. Thank you, Bo versus Windshield, who says, have you heard about patient zero for the virus being a worker at the lab in Wuhan? That's crazy. Proves Fauci lied. We knew that already. We already knew that. We knew Fauci was lying. I did see that, though, Bo versus Windshield. We knew that was the case from the beginning. Thank you for that, though. I may do a video on that, actually. Shout out to Michael Critchlow, who says, do you think a 33-year-old who fell 4,000 feet from the Grand Canyon skywall actually fell, or do you think he committed suicide? I've not heard about that story, actually, so I don't know any of the details. But I have seen somebody that tried to do a selfie and then they fell and died. That could happen. So either way, but I've not seen the story to really know about what's going on. Shout out to Cal Denson, who says a Chinese nationalist China told me that in China, their media is constantly making fun of us. Really embarrassing, laughing at our country crumble. I'm not surprised. We see what we do over here, and the things that we do give them fodder for entertainment and propaganda. We got to stop doing that. And the whole thing, I just showed you with Tony Blinken looking like a complete mess, crazy body language in front of Xi Jinping. That picture I showed you will be all over Chinese social media, all over Chinese Communist Party television. It'll be everywhere. They might put that on a banner right in the town square, Beijing, Shanghai. That's just kind of what it is. All right. But that'll be a wrap for me. You guys have been fantastic. I will be live again on Saturday night, same bat time, same bat place, 8 p.m. Eastern. It's right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.